down on my end so that I couldn't use it. So yeah,
Gotcha.
Thank you, Jackie. So I guess I'll try to edit this recording and kind of start over. Hyper fast last session. We just did a recap of the entire thing, the entire campaign. Did a postmortem. Talked about Stark's new character, and this week we're doing a little bit more maintenance before we start up with Rise of Tiamat. And right now we're discussing the flying castle and where that's going to be parked.
What did we land on with the name of our summer retreat estate?
It's the Misty Dawn Retreat.
The Misty Dawn Retreat. Like, so Stark, how does Taisho make his way to us? Like, how do you find us and approach us and all that?
Well, I think the easiest way is that, honestly, maybe a little bit of intervention and guidance from visions from Bahamut, maybe or an emissary of Bahamut, as the cult of the dragon seems to be gaining some steam. It's not gone unnoticed, and he's being called to action. Living near Waterdeep, I think he probably has sojourned towards the middle to end of your adventure. He's sojourned towards Waterdeep to talk to some contacts there about this upstart group that is making great headway against this cult. If you guys are called the Defiant Dawn,
That's
and how to what do they know about you? How could I find you? And since then, they gave me some hints, clues as to where you might be active currently, and I kind of headed that direction, hoping to intercept with you and offer my services.
Come on, Bahamut, I'm retired.
Yeah, that's exactly what my reaction was too. Oh, okay, I guess.
My old bones.
Yeah. Dusted off the plate mail.
pension?
Actually, the plate mail is kept immaculate, although it is got some battle scars on it. It isn't polished and in good shape, but yeah, mustered my gear, tried to stand a little straighter, and off to do hopefully one last thing and one fantastic thing, and that is stop Tiamat coming to this plane of existence.
I was 2 weeks from retirement.
And then off in the distance, it was quite easy to see a floating castle. That must be the place foretold where I would find the Defiant Dawn. So I envisioned quite literally, a gold dragonborn, hello, waving his arms down below the castle. I need to speak with you. Hello. And, some conversation takes place, and our goals align. And hopefully you will accept me, and the insight check was good, and you realize I'm being forthwith.
Get a literal sign from Bahamut, and be like, well, I guess that's a good resume pattern.
CV is in order. You're like, what is this big 8-year gap here where apparently you're just helping the poor? That doesn't make any sense.
While I can understand there's glory to be had, it's hard for me to understand how no one would know about it. It's very humble of you.
Very
It is a
humble.
life of service, no doubt, but it is the life I have chosen.
And your one reference you have listed is very good, very compelling.
Yes, indeed. To be sure, he's got quite the desire to see that his sister does not reach this plane.
His sister.
Family squabbles.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you did not know, Tiamat is Bahamut's sister.
I did not know that.
I'm not very well read.
I can assure you, they are polar opposites. Bahamut takes after his father. He's a good guy.
And who's his father?
I actually don't know. That was just a joke.
No, it's still very funny. They're gods. How could they have a father?
I think it would be Astaroth, better known as Io, creator of Dragonkind.
I'm imagining Kyla just pokes her head in from the hallway as she's walking by. Actually.
Actually.
Oh, Lady Nightshade, yes.
I mean, I knew that, of course, and she's correct.
Can't Karen squints.
I would never think that her information would be faulty.
Fair.
Taisho kind of looks over at you're human, is that correct?
Yes.
With some dragon blood. Yeah, he kind of looks over with a little suspicion, but also some awe. Okay. Strokes the golden scales of his muzzle like, keep an eye on her.
And there was one more character we wanted to introduce, and I think Allie had some interesting way to do that.
Well, that depends. How quickly is everybody looking at this massive treasure hoard in the basement of our castle?
I think that's what adventurers do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Almost
long, but once you've kicked out the ogres and the kobolds of this keep, then
Can we keep one kobold?
One kobold,
we've
please.
won over.
and I picture you guys down there chipping away at the treasure or using your staff of fire to melt the ice or whatever, trying to get at this frozen loot. Hey, there's my mom. Good morning, Mom.
Oh,
Hi, Graham.
hello.
I think looking over, all the treasures like frosted and iced over. So in addition to just banging his shield, trying to slowly chip it away, every so often Yuri just breathes a gout of fire, melts barely none of it. Just, this is hard going. Kylie, you know how to throw around those large fireballs, don't you?
Yes. See, yeah, I can cast fireball on you.
Yeah, it's with the magic and stuff. Like getting to the treasure doesn't require any rolls or anything. You're able to, in a combination of chipping away at it, building normal fires, and using charges from your staff of flame, you're able to get at the treasure. As stuff slowly starts melting, this one particular lamp is something that Allie would describe.
It's a very ornate lantern. It's almost all gold. Probably isn't very good for, being constantly reheated, but what are you going to do? It's so fancy. But it's already glowing with like a slight pink aura through it. That's tantalizing for anyone I don't know.
Ooh, it's pretty light.
That looks certainly cursed. I would avoid it.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Yuri will pick up the lantern.
I don't think I'm actually there yet.
I could be here. Why not?
Why shouldn't you be?
Why shouldn't you be? Yeah. We were patient adventurers. We flew and landed before we went through the Hoard.
Oh my-
So tough.
I still think it's amazing how the moonbeam and the zigzagging wall of fire spelled out "ow."
Ow.
We didn't even do that intentionally.
So good. So he'll pick up the lantern. He'll turn it over, just examine it. You said it's very ornate. It's made of gold. It's glowing.
Very ornate. Well, maybe as his hand trails over a little lock on the front of it, like a little latch that you'd flick up, there's just sort of a little cloud explosion and a tinkling, and you find that there's just diamonds everywhere now, and one very tall blue lady. She's just taking a long second to stretch and yawn. She is a tiefling. She's kind of in a pink and orange shift dress. She's got some cloven hooves that look like they might have golden horseshoes on the bottom of them. You're also not sure how tenable that is for long-term travel, but it looks nice.
Or stealth checks, for that matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gold
Clank,
is very
clank,
soft.
clank.
It conforms to the floor you're walking on, which makes you the stealthiest ever.
Taisho will immediately pull his longsword, as this creature could possibly be dangerous. Or evil, for that matter.
She finishes stretching and says, "Oh, what a long nap. Oh, it's just so long. Thank you for, rubbing the lamp."
Yuri is holding the lantern, sort of looking baffled to his companions and back to this blue person in front of him.
What have you done, Yuri?
You
there. What is your name?
About that curse.
There's no curse. Don't even worry about it. My name is Aster. I am a genie, apparently. This is my good friend Oliver. And she extends her forearm, and a dark gray barn owl with piercing blue eyes and a little necklace flies to meet her.
From where?
Wherever he was flying.
Comes out of the necklace?
Maybe they appeared at the same time. You don't know.
That's what I'm asking. You said he flew onto her arms.
Listen, there was an explosion of diamonds. I don't think where this owl came from is the most important thing.
It is Yuri. Wait a minute. Where did the owl come?
The owl did come from your necklace or did not?
I think it just appeared at the same time.
Yeah,
as
just
her.
came out at the same time.
I understand. Okay, gotcha.
Aster and Oliver, and you're a genie?
Well, that is what I said. Yeah. You know.
I'd
Yuri.
like to make an insight check.
What are you attempting to insight?
Whether this story that she's telling is truthful.
It's truthful.
This seems legit.
Yuri will look to Kyla.
Mama told me.
It seems legit. How suspicious.
Kyla, is this tenable? It's a word I would definitely use.
I suppose so.
They seem to think you're on the level.
She adjusts her gold-rimmed spectacles. Well, I mean, why would I lie to you? I just met you guys.
How did you come to be here?
I was, just following the cult around, doing what I could to disrupt their activities, because they sort of burnt down the town I was living in. I don't really appreciate that. And then I woke up, right here. Just now.
Are you hurt in any way?
Don't think so. She's got a lot of scars up and down her arms.
Yeah,
But other than that,
but no visible wounds. Anything I need to be concerned with immediately?
she was pretty tip-top shape.
Okay.
For a genie.
So what does it mean that you're a genie exactly?
Well, obviously the person that set me free gets some wishes. The time limit on me doing them is, it's a little wibbly-wobbly, but I'll get it done.
I see.
But you only get 3, and you can't wish for more. That's a rule.
So, we all collectively found you here, so I feel like we all share in that.
Sounds like good logic to me. She says, shrugging.
Doesn't genie patron mean, out of character, doesn't genie patron mean there's a genie that gave you these powers in this artifact?
In a mechanic sense, yes, but Allie's character is under the impression that she is a genie.
Oh, she's a geniac. She's a genie. She's just a little slower at it,
So, mechanically, for warlocks in general, you get your power from a source, but it doesn't mean there has to be, any kind of ongoing tether or relationship to or with them. That's just the most common way, I think.
Well, when I say this, Allie, I mean, you don't have the ability to grant any wish that that they come up with. So
that's why she tacked on. It might take a little while.
Right.
I'll do my best.
So,
she knows that's the genie rules.
Apparently,
it's written on the inside of the lamp.
Do your best and hang in there. 2 posters.
Just a little kitten, a little dragon kitten.
I'll go first. I wish for the cult of Tiamat to be completely gone and done, and for Tiamat to not exist, and everything to be fine.
Luckily for you, that was what I was doing anyway, so...
Oh, good.
It might take a little while, but we'll get it sorted.
1 down! And he'll pass the lantern to Kyla.
Oh dear.
You don't have to use them now, I think.
Oh no, there's really no time limit for them.
Yes, I think I'll wait.
Suit yourself. I thought mine was pretty good. But...
That was pretty good.
She says,
I'm going to look at Aster and see if I can see any religious symbols on her. Anywhere that might give away, which god or gods she might worship.
She's got nothing. She has a lot of necklaces, but none of them have a good pendant on it for you to look at.
Did you post your picture for people?
Oh, I didn't.
I'm just kind of squinting and circling around, looking you up and down. Do you smell of sulfur?
I don't think so.
No demon, devil influence here.
Excellent. Okay, I'll take a step back. Resign.
Just a tiefling.
Everything's
Just a
okay.
tiefling.
Okay, no devil influence, just a tiefling.
She's got these little goat horns, that come straight up as little arcs out of her forehead, but one of them is cracked in half. Oh, and she does have a tail, but it looks like the bottom half of it is kind of a gold-plated, appendage. You're not quite sure. It's got segments in it. It looks cool, looks fancy, but definitely not her regular tail.
Yeah, if you look at her character sheet in the bio and info thing, there's a pretty picture that Miss Allie painted for us.
I also posted it in the Discord just now.
Nice. Another thing you have going on in this chamber while you are chipping away at this dragon's hoard, the dragon's dead, sightless eyes stare out after you, and his corpse is slowly freezing in this chamber.
That's disconcerting. Kyla's supposed to do that.
Yes, generally. Dragon corpses always do weird things after they die.
Is it dependent on the type of dragon?
Yes.
Is that going to happen to me when I die? I'm just kidding, I'll never die.
Right.
But hypothetically.
I'm going to live forever. If only in the minds and hearts of the people.
Love Yuri so much.
But really, if I were to hypothetically die, which we know can't happen, would something happen to me?
I'm not sure. Depends on the circumstances.
I have seen plenty of Dragonborn die. Yes, something most certainly will happen. You will decay, and the worms will eat your flesh. Your scales may linger a while longer, but they too will return to the earth. It isn't pretty.
That's far grimmer and not quite as grandiose as I was hoping, but I do appreciate the truthful answer.
But I also mean, your memory will live on forever.
Yes, that is the goal.
Yeah, you've already achieved a pretty big level of fame. Like, once this story gets out of you guys taking this castle and taking the dragon cult down a peg and killing this white dragon, the stories of Yuri and the Defiant Dawn are going to be spread around campfires for a while.
He'll believe it when he hears it.
Hear me.
Aster, now that you're a free genie, I suppose you need to get on with granting my wish, at least, since I made it just now.
Yes, of course. I'm just here hanging out till you guys work kind of in the sky. Yeah.
Yes, you're flying right now.
I can't really get down on my own.
But what about your genie magic?
I don't want to waste it all right now. She says, looking a little sketchily back and forth. I just woke up from a very long nap. I need to refuel, restock, all that good stuff.
What if I were to use another wish and wish that you were refueled and restocked right now?
It does not affect me in any sort of way.
Oh, I see.
That's the rule.
She makes a compelling argument.
What are you guys up to?
Just a genie, hanging out.
Just doing genie things.
Well,
you're welcome to come with us. You're not cursed, and You appear to be a valuable genie, so...
Definitely not cursed.
He nods sagely to his companions. This really couldn't have worked out better.
I know. I did not want to be in there anymore.
Aster, do you have any obvious weapons on your person, or just that wicked-looking tail?
Just the tail, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Excellent.
I've just got a lot of jewelry.
Does
Well, I did not expect this when I woke up this morning.
I just woke up now.
We're all awake.
Perfect.
Truly a magical hoard. I wonder what else we will find in here.
What were you about to ask, Yuri?
He was going to ask Taisho, or I was going to ask Stark out of character if Taisho has a tail.
He does. Yep. Golden tail.
Ooh.
Sticking out from the plate mail.
Yuri has like a turtle tail. It's just like a little tiny one.
A little nubbin.
Yeah. So,
Born that way, or lost it? Your regular tail in combat, or
no, I think born that way. I don't know if the D&D lore establishes whether Dragonborn have tails or not, so I think...
it depends on the edition that you're playing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think Eck basically said, tail yourself however you want to.
Yep. It's not going to affect anything.
It's tailored to each of us. Sorry.
It's got a long tail that reaches the ground.
I think Kobus has a normal tail too, doesn't he?
Until somebody uses their tail as an unarmed melee attack.
Unfortunately, my tail is not quite that skilled. It just kind of follows me around.
Mine's too short. That would be dead useful, though. Like turning in circles, trying to look at himself, but doesn't
I mean,
work
you
for
could
him.
like stab someone with it.
It doesn't seem like the most efficient combat maneuver.
And she whips her tail back and forth a little bit. You can see the end of it extending and elongating a little bit as she does. Just need the right attachment is all I'm saying.
You have to admit I'm quite upset that I now have the second coolest golden tail in the group.
You just need to jazz it up a little bit. Just like as a treat, you know, for you.
Grab the lamp. I wish Virgin
So it takes probably a couple of weeks to get from where the castle was back over towards Waterdeep and your manor house. What do we learn about each other's characters, and how do the relationships kind of shake out over the next couple of weeks?
So I'm quite curious to know the background and upbringing of both Yuri and Kobus, as they're both the Dragonborn, like myself. And I share my background as well, the clan that I was born into, and how I was brought to Bahamut. Basically, I'm going to write that out on my bio. I haven't able to do that yet, but basically, if you don't mind, Ak, I'll give just a quick 3-minute kind of a background.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I love that.
So the smallish clan in which I was born into, almost entirely Golden Dragonborn, was one of the very few clans that actually had a physical building, a temple to Bahamut. Most of Bahamut's followers are simply Bahamut's followers and don't need a temple to worship him. But we actually did have one, and early in his juvenile days, one of the golden dragons that serves on Bahamut's council actually visited this hamlet and spoke to some of the elders of the clan. And Taisho was so in awe of this manifestation of the deity that they all tried to emulate, the manifestation of this physical real golden dragon, just instilled into him this burning desire to become an acolyte of Bahamut and in his service in any way possible, and spread his tenements of justice and charity. And that has driven him ever since to become a cleric to Bahamut and go far and wide and do whatever it took to find that justice and charitable acts to the needy. And that's the origin, the beginnings.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
been
cool.
in and out of different adventuring groups that had like-minded goals and to rout out evil wherever it might be, and that's kind of how I've gained my experience.
So, one thing, Lightbringer is kind of a gold dragon that had a couple of connections into the party. Kyla is a direct descendant from him from like 1,000 years ago or whatever. And Allie's or Karen's patron was Lightbringer. So maybe Lightbringer was the one that had visited. Visited your
Absolutely,
hamlet.
yeah. I would say that's absolutely who it was. Especially if Lightbringer is active in this part of Faerun. It's very likely that he was the emissary that came and visited.
Yeah, Silvery Moon is kind of where he calls home. He just watches over the town, and he likes to meddle in the affairs of mortals, but for the most part, he's pretty chill and laid back. Doesn't roam the countryside and blastinate bad guys or anything like that. He just tries to pull the strings kind of behind the scenes and push people towards where he thinks they should go.
Okay, I think that fits perfect.
Very cool. So the bullet point background that Yuri will give you over the course of several weeks is that he was born and raised in a lowborn family, sworn to servitude in the name of a faceless lord who didn't care about his people and their suffering. And as a brash young man, he began to question his family's lot in life, and only days later, the Lord heard of this and had him imprisoned and taken to basically be a pit fighter in bondage. And he spent years there just surviving, forced at sword point to learn the martial ways by men with no deeds to their own names. And then he just bided his time until there was an opportunity for escape and revolution, basically fantasy Spartacus situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then he led the other gladiators up in a revolution and overthrew that lord, and basically came to the conclusion that, you know, making your own story and reveling in the glory of that is the best thing that one can do. You know, be a pinnacle of hope and inspiration to others.
I think our motives align quite nicely. That is the exact kind of evil that you're brought up into that I'm seeking to eradicate. Well, at least I was until I retired.
Yes. People they need something to believe in. Some people believe in gods, but others need to believe in themselves.
Indeed.
Doug, I'm going to go ahead and give you an inspiration. Jackie was super impressed with your by men of no deeds to their own names. What a burn!
Yeah.
So yeah, got a little bit of backstory and probably some things that we'll learn about Yuri is he's really into the glory thing. He likes telling stories about himself and the deeds of others, and he's big into the adventuring side of thing. And how does that sit with Taisho?
Yeah, so he likes to help people, but he is also very much about, you know, everybody should know all the great things that I've done, because it quite literally makes him more powerful over time by believing in himself.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all, or bother Taisho at all. Taisho is he's self-driven, and he completely understands that it is his version and vision of what justice is, and basically, as long as you're not evil and doing evil things, your own motives are your own motives. Greed doesn't bother him, though it's not part of his own personal need. Bravado doesn't bother him. That's your own journey to be on, as long as it's not harming others. So not an issue at all.
Cool. Yuri will be very interested in speaking with Taisho at length, because Taisho presumably has so many cool war stories and tales of daring do.
Oh, indeed, for sure.
Yeah, so that's one of his favorite pastimes.
But likewise, he would love to hear the adventure thus far, and how did you get this flying castle, and what have you seen and done, and who are these dragons that are operating in this area that I'm not aware of, and this black one in particular. And he spends time to inspect the white dragon corpse, thoroughly, and to glean whatever information he can, understanding that this is certainly one of 5 aspects of Tiamat.
Yeah, this is an impressive dragon. It's huge, both in a mechanical sense and a feeling sense. You feel dwarfed when you're in its presence, and even though it's dead, you can still just get that just kind of twinge of dragon fear auras. Like,
sure,
you are food to this thing. But you also know as an adventurer of your level, of your skill, that with a party of other adventurers, you'd be able to help take it down.
Yeah, seeing this is cemented in Taisho's mind that he's in the exact right place with the right people, feeling very confident in their capabilities, hoping to even keep up with them.
Yeah, so Cobus is, you said you were interested in the Dragonborn. Cobus
Yes.
is very laid back. He's a green Dragonborn. And his backstory is mainly that he was part of a tribe of green Dragonborn, obviously. And they got kicked out of their home. They originally were in this forest, but they got displaced by humans that were expanding into the area, and they made it into the swamp. There they were subjugated by the cult, and the bullywugs and the bullywugs and the cult basically bossed them around, and they just thought this was their lot in life. And this all happened while Cobus was out and about. The last he checked, he was his people were just fine in the swamp. But when he gets back, he finds that the cult has moved in and started subjugating his people. And so he helped liberate them, and now they're hanging out in Neritar Castle. And there's not much nature-y things to do on this frozen glacier that has a castle sitting on top of it. So he mainly just wanders around the walls, probably, and just looks out over the edge down to the ground below.
Makes flowers.
Yeah, there's probably little ice flowers that have started blooming in various spots of the castle where he's visited, something that would be able to grow here.
One thing that I would like to do while we're in this scene is the enormous frozen dragon corpse. I think Yuri spends a lot of time, everybody's in this room, going through treasure and stuff, but I think Yuri actively spends time like right in front of it, staring at it, just being in its presence and sort of basking in that dragon fear and trying to temper himself against it. Mechanically, at level 8, as Yuri's advance, he took the feat Dragon Fear, which is a racial ability for Dragonborn, wherein you can expend a use of your Dragonborn breath weapon to instead use Dragon Fear on every enemy within 30 feet of you. So you basically make one of those trumpeting dragon calls, and they have to make a wisdom save or be afraid.
Nice, very nice.
That would be thematically cool for him.
Yeah.
I think metallic dragons also get like a dragon awe type thing. I don't know what that does, but we might be able to skin that since you're a metallic dragon if you wanted more inspiration instead of fear.
Yeah, that'd be totally cool.
All right, yeah, we'll look into that later. I'll make a
The
note.
mechanics. I don't need the mechanics to change in any way, or whatever makes sense is cool with me.
Well, we're inspecting this dragon corpse. It was not my kill. I was not part of this, but if allowed, I would request 1 white dragon scale for my own.
If there are any left after Lady Nightshade gets through with it.
Karen's sitting by the tail with like a chisel and a hammer. What?
I think I would obviously I would defer to anybody in the group, but perhaps Kyla. I would kind of look to her guidance to say, would it be okay if I could have one white dragon scale?
Yeah, of course.
And we'll choose one of hand size.
Yeah, there.
What are you going to use the scale for?
Well, it might be ostentatious, but perhaps I could collect one of each of the 5 chromatic dragons just to say that I've seen them in person.
Interesting. I'm doing the same.
Yuri has like a big smile on his face, like an open mouth grin as he looks between them. It's fun because you're doing the same thing.
That is
Admiration and respect grows for Kyla for sure. In fact, over that same time period, I would like to sit and chat with her about history and lore, and maybe fill in some gaps of knowledge she doesn't have and I do, and certainly vice versa about what we know, and the tenements of Bahamut specifically, as that is my source of expertise.
Yeah, Kyla knows some stuff about Bahamut. Not a whole bunch, but if she were to worship a god, then it would definitely be Bahamut, because he's the one she's done the most studying on.
So Taisho is definitely not inclined to try to convert anybody to Bahamut's tenements, but I simply talk of them factual and why I believe what I believe and why I believe it is good and right. And encourage, if not actual following or worship of Bahamut, at least to understand his tenements of justice and to rid the world of evil. It serves no purpose. And charity. As far as Aster goes, Taisho's just not sure what to make of this.
Aster's just been wandering around the castle. She's having a great time. She does sleep in, her lamp every night in these several weeks that we're spending together. But she's just jazzed not to be in a frozen hoard of treasure anymore. This is great.
Do you think Karen would ask for a wish to get her leg back?
Nah, she's got good plans. She's got good plans, and she definitely didn't steal a bunch of these dragon scales to make a new leg out of.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I suppose it's not stealing if she helped kill it, but
It's a very messy but cool idea.
Taisho asks Kyla if she's got any other chromatic dragon scales that she's gathered.
Yes, green and blue.
You have 3.
Yes, and I believe 2
Magnificent.
metallics.
How did you come across the metallic dragon scales?
Lightbringer, my ancestor, he was able to give me one of his scales. So I'd have a
good.
gold dragon scale.
Not from a corpse, then.
Yes, and there was a brass dragon that came to alert Lightbringer of the cult doing things down in the south, since he lived in and he had heard of such things. So Lightbringer offered my assistance and Karen's assistance and sent us with him back down to the south, which is where we met up with everybody else, and I was able to get one of his scales as well.
That's excellent.
Well, cool. I feel like we've been RPing in the castle, moving this along. I think we're gonna move all the way over towards the towards Misty Dawn Retreat. One of the things that Kyla wanted to do, she wanted to visit Linathan. Probably the best way to do that is you're kind of close to where was it? Parnast, and actually that's going to take a little while because the cult's still there right this second, but you guys eventually go through various factions, can have that cleaned out. Talus the White is no longer there, but at the hunting lodge were 3 teleportation circles, and one of those teleported south down into the desert. So if you want to do that, we can.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So who all is going with Miss Kyla?
I'm personally cool with anybody or nobody going. I don't mind either way.
I don't feel the need to insert myself into that scene, so I'm happy to sit on the sidelines.
I am inclined to stay unless asked to go.
All right, then.
All right, and what did you say about Aster?
Oh, if you wanted company, like, she'd be more than happy to come and talk, but if you wanted to do more of, like, a cool solo thing, she totally
I'm fine
gets
with
it.
It's whatever you want to do.
Yeah, she'll come. She'll probably just, like, stay, behind you, because it's a dragon, but she's very curious. She's very curious.
All right. So your various contacts have informed you of the 3 different places that that this teleportation circle kind of goes to, and this one goes down to way in the south where there's a big, huge desert, and that's where Linathan called home. As right now, like where you started from is high up in the mountains. The air's a little bit thinner. It's very clean and refreshing. There's you're in a forest, so it's just very cool and calm. As soon as you teleport to the other side of the world, just your breath is sucked out of you. The heat is just immediately oppressive. The sun is just blazing down high, and you can just feel it heating up any metal that's on your outfit.
Oh no. I just realized that one of the traits for dragon sorcerers, they get these patches of scales from whatever dragon type. So it would be funny if, like, the patches of gold scales on Kyla were much warmer than the rest of her skin.
Yeah, they're I think they would be. Like, it's noticeably hot, borderline uncomfortable. Just existing in this environment is not pleasant unless you're well adapted for it.
Aster's feeling it. She's feeling good.
Oh yeah, Kyla loves the heat.
So the floor of the teleportation circle is a windswept platform of highly polished limestone that gleams in the sun. Etched into the surface is the image of a sun, its curving rays seemingly dancing, defining the circle's edge, and cairns composed of smooth stones naturally worn by time and weather surround the platform. There's also just a set of ruins that this place is in.
Could I roll history to see if I know anything about these ruins in particular?
Let's see. 1 second. Surrounded by lush verdant. Wait, where did that go from? Surrounded by lush verdant vegetation, the circle appears to be part of an oasis. Palms tower overhead, swaying with the breeze, granting protection from the scorching sun. A sapphire blue pool of water sits at the center of the oasis, its depths unknown. I don't think you know anything about these ruins, because I don't know anything about these ruins. I just thought they looked cool. It's from ages ago, long time ago.
I was just curious to know if there was like anything in particular the module had to say about them, but that's fine.
Nope, it's not in the module at all.
These are beautiful.
They are.
So, I think I had a handout here too. Did I? Yeah. Boop, boop, boop.
Ooh, neat.
So I just read that to you. So you are in the middle of this vast desert expanse. You know that Linathan's lair is somewhere around here, but how do you go about finding his lair?
For some reason, my mind just did a blank and completely forgot what the lair effects of blue dragons were, but I'm going to pull those up and I'm going to look for some of those. Because it's in a 6-mile radius, so if we can pinpoint that, then that's a pretty good idea of where he's at.
That's fine, but it's like this desert is hundreds of miles across, so getting close, like if you're just wandering trying to find it, then that's probably not going to work.
Alright,
Should we just yell for them? I bet they have pretty good hearing. They're dragon, you know.
see.
Hello.
Can we see any thunderstorms from where we're at? Or any signs of a thunderstorm?
There doesn't seem to be a thunderstorm anywhere near here right now.
Gotcha. If there are any villages or settlements around, we might be able to ask and see if they know any possible location of anything.
Yeah, we could probably find something like that. Over on the horizon, you see a merchant caravan of camels. And they are just snaking their way up and over dunes, and looks like they know where they're going, but you don't see any towns, but you do see them, and you could probably talk to them.
Okay. Also, Ali, I did not mean to completely ignore your question. I was just looking something up. So,
Listen, Aster just talks. She just talks. She just rambles.
Kyle's response would be, I'm not sure he would like that or even hear us for that matter.
Oh, I don't want to make a big blue dragon angry. Do you think he'll like that I'm blue? But he's already, you know. Aster's very smart, you guys.
It sounds like it.
Oh no. I like how the average intelligence of our party stats is 8, which is less than the average commoner.
I didn't know it was less than a commoner. That's so good.
Yeah, your average is 10, so the average commoner is 10. So this party, for the most part, has trouble keeping up with the average commoner.
You know, we're dumb overall, but we got so much heart.
Smart of heart, yes.
Smart of heart. We've got emotional intelligence, which I would like reflected in my saving throws. Thank you.
Yep, and it'll be reflected in your year-end review. Don't worry.
Awesome.
All right, so yeah, you make your way up to these merchants, because when you teleport, there's just this kind of loud crack that happens, and they obviously saw you when you came in. It looks like they're riding camels. They're dressed in these big, heavy white cloth robes and masks, and pretty much all of their entire body is just draped in this in these heavy cloths. But they see you, and you start approaching them. Walking through the sand is difficult. It's not easy going, and you're already just sweating like crazy by the time you make it to them. They slow their caravan and wave at you. Greetings.
Hello, yes. My companion and I are looking for a very specific blue dragon. I'm wondering if you've seen any recently.
That does not seem very wise.
I met him a long time ago, and I have returned with a gift and such.
The gift is smart if you wish to talk to him. What is his name? There is one named such as he, and he points over towards the mountains that are. He says, see that tall mountain right there? Walk towards it, and he will find you.
I see. Thank you very much for your help.
Yep, and so you start walking off in that direction. Actually, before I should have made this a roll. This could have been interesting. Give me like a persuasion check or something like that. To find the layer is going to be about DC 15, I think. And a failure basically makes it so you'll still find it, but Lenathan's in a bad mood and he's not happy that you're here.
Can I assist?
I see. Can I use an inspiration on this roll?
If Allie is assisting you, then, or if Aster is assisting you, then you'll get advantage on the roll without spending your inspiration.
Alrighty.
I was thinking maybe sending Oliver up to scout.
Sure, yeah, that'll work.
Call that genie inspiration.
Thank God.
It's like, I know you didn't wish for this, but
It's a freebie.
25.
So instead of a 13 failure, we get a 25 success. Yay! All right. Yeah, so I didn't say he'd be happy to see you. He's just not mad to see you.
That's something a win for me.
So you start walking in that direction, following the advice of the merchants, and you just pick that mountain out in the distance and start walking. Eventually, you see a sleek blue shape gliding through the air. He circles you once, and then he once you're down in a valley, he swoops in and just lands onto the crest of one of these sand dunes, and he faces away from you so that when his wings beat, it doesn't just cover you in sand. But when he lands, there's just like this explosion of sand, and his wings flap, and just so much. You can still feel like the little grain particles clicking off your face. And he looks down, staring down at you. Why are you here?
Well, I came to tell you that we have successfully brought down the cult, and they had a large amount of treasure. And since you spared us at the very beginning of all this... Jeez, my voice. Sorry. Something happened with my throat. Give me a second. There's something
dragon
with
fear. So intimidated.
Yeah.
And there was this very large hoard of treasure that they had amassed, so I brought some sapphires for you. I thought you would enjoy them, and she will give him the sapphires, maybe a few other gemstones.
He raises an eyebrow. He's not 100% sure why, but he's not turning anything down. He starts climbing down the hill towards you, and just looks you in the eye. You hold out these gemstones, and he holds out this massive clawed hand. Well,
she'll hand them to him and say, well, you remember how I asked to draw you for my book? Well, it's been coming along quite nicely, and I'm almost done with the chromatic dragon, so I was wondering if you would like to write the foreword for the book.
1 second.
Aster leans over. Does he have a quill big enough? Oh, he's so big!
Very
He's
old
so
blue
scary.
dragon. I love how it says very old blue dragon.
Let me tell you, Aster is struck with some kind of fear and bows very differently.
Who is your friend?
She's Aster. We just recently met her. Towards the end of our current position.
Hello. It's nice to meet you. You're
He's
very beautiful.
He smirks. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. A forward, you say? And he strokes his chin. He looks down at these sapphires, and you hear a flutter. Like all of your attention was focused on this big apex predator that's standing right in front of you. That big boy. But you hear a flutter over the hill and see a much smaller dragon just peeking its eyes up over the crest of the dune.
Aster waves very sheepishly. Hello.
Yeah, it looks at you and says, "Is that a wizard? Is it casting a spell? Are we supposed to kill it?" And Lenison says, No. These are harmless. He looks a little bit defeated, but he starts climbing down the hill. This was probably the egg that hatched, you're thinking, Karen or Kyla. But it's still much smaller than you would expect. Apparently, just the egg being out of its natural environment so long has just caused it to be a little bit runty. But he stands up and starts walking down the dune and tries to look big and intimidating, and puffs out his chest and climbs down. And he says, "Aw, I wanted to kill it."
Oh, would you like some target practice? Aster casts mirror image and has a double of herself run over there, like waving its arms a little bit. Practice is never a bad idea, you know?
Yeah, let's see here. Layer, let's see. Boosh.
This can't possibly go wrong.
I'm sure it'll be fun. She's a genie. She knows what she's doing.
Totally a genie.
Definitely.
Yeah, this thing lets out with this, like, it sees you and your little mirror image is saying, over here, me. And Lenathan just shakes his head, and this just bolt of lightning streaks out from this thing's mouth and blasts the sand, and it crystallizes some of the sand into glass, and this just peal of thunder echoes throughout. The distant merchants probably think you just got wasted by a dragon. And then you hear another dragon. Start coming up over the hill, and it looks mad. It's much smaller than Lenathan, but bigger than Lazuli, and it's a female voice, and she says, "Stay away from my brother! I'm sorry, Dad!"
Oh no, no trouble here. We're just having a nice get together.
Yeah, and let's see. I don't think I want to start a fight with you guys for real, but there's a very tense situation where the second dragon, much older, I need some description of these guys. So, Lenathan waves her down, says, No, we're just having fun. This human and this tiefling are harmless. And he says tiefling, Lazuli says, what's a tiefling? And he says, well, I'll tell you later. He introduces them. The older one is Rangi. I'll spell that out for you. Rangi. Rangi's scales range from light to medium blue. Her white horn seems to blend seamlessly with her coloration. She is put off by the visitors and keeps her brother in her sight as much as possible during their visit. And the little one is Lazuli. Let's see. Lazuli's scales are a healthy deep blue with iridescent flecks that shimmer in the light. His sapphire eyes hold curiosity and a hint of good-natured mischievousness. His horn, though, is blunt and stunted.
Those are such wonderful names.
Yes, they picked them out themselves. But a forward. I will have to think on this. For now, how about some advice?
Of course.
You need to be careful, young lady. Not every dragon is as forgiving as I am. There's a good chance you're going to try to meet or treat with these dragons and not come back. Never travel alone. Always bring a party with you. And be ready to fight.
Oh yes, we've had to fight. We've had to fight a few dragons that were not so forgiving.
Anyone I know?
I wouldn't think so.
I wasn't there for that.
Possibly Jade Talon, if you knew her. I knew she was in the same area as you. And Glacial, the Cloud Chaser, he wasn't really near Greenest, though.
Yeah, he's like, what was the green dragon's name? I'm sorry.
Jade Talon.
Yes, Jade Talon. I worked with her temporarily in Greenest. Unpleasant sort that. It's probably better she's not around anymore. I didn't know Glacial, but he was a potent dragon. I wouldn't go bragging about that to other dragons.
Oh yes, sir.
They killed dragons? Maybe we should kill them, Dad.
I've never killed a dragon.
No, well, we don't want to kill you. You are quite pleasant dragon.
Well, then you should be careful about traveling with dragon slayers, young lady.
Yes.
Yes, also very true. Thank you for your advice. I appreciate it.
I will write your foreword, but I will need to think on it. Where can I send for you?
There is a large manor north of Waterdeep. That's where most of us will be staying for the next few weeks.
There might be a floating castle there.
Yes, there is also a flying castle there. It's really hard to miss.
And that is where your hoard is, the massive hoard that you have rescued and liberated.
So,
Out of character, how much were we giving to like the factions and stuff?
I heard it was a lot, and you were keeping just enough for yourselves to like do a few things.
We were going to start our business empire.
Yep, you're taking out like a little side stuff for business stuff, fixing up the Misty Manor, throwing a wedding, fixing up the castle, and repairing the observatory. That magic item that's basically the big, huge observatory.
We kept some of it, but the majority of it went back out to the Sword Coast so they could rebuild.
He looks down at you, wondering if you're telling the truth or not, giving away all that treasure. You're far too trusting, Kyla. It's going to get you killed one day. But I will write your foreword, and I will send it to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And he holds out his he holds out the gemstones to his two kids and says, "Look what the nice lady brought us." And their little eyes light up, and they come over and like stare at the treasure. You may each pick one. And they each take one of the gemstones that you've provided, and they seem a little bit nicer. Lazuli doesn't want to kill you anymore.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Progress.
But if you didn't have anything else, then I think the scene is over.
All right, sounds good.
Write a forward,
Yes, we'll
not an
say
obituary.
farewell to Lenathan. Thank him for his time. So I'm glad that his kids are doing well.
As they're walking away, Aster's like, "So you just like talk to dragons and stuff like all the time? It seems really dangerous." It was so big.
Not all dragons like to talk, so Lenathan is one of the few that I've managed to speak with on friendly terms, at least. Or at least non-hostile.
I'll leave the determinations of who's hostile to you as far as dragons go, I think.
He sends his children away back to the lair, and you see them flying further towards that mountain. And he says, "If you ever run across a blue dragon named Cordera, take her out."
We shall.
And with that, he flies off.
Gonna write that down. 1 second. Could you spell that, please?
Cordera.
Cordera.
It's in a storm again. Maybe Lenathan's up to no good. That's what
Hmm?
All right. Well, let's see. We have other extremely important business. There's a couple of things that we wanted to do. We still never talked to Tefreya Knight Jim, Kyla's sister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to. You could just throw her in a prison and be done with her.
I would be fine with that if we had time for that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely give Shadow the talk. That is very important.
Yeah, the talking to Shadow when he tried to blackmail you during the castle siege.
I'm so happy.
And what else? We had this an idea for a wedding, perhaps. I think that's on the itinerary for sure. And there were a few magic items I wanted to make sure that we talked about.
Okay.
So, what order do we want to tackle that in?
We could do wedding stuff last. I feel like that's a pretty good closer, you know?
Okay, all right.
Maybe the other things are entwined with wedding prep, so we get Karen walking around on crutches for a little while. Telling people to go here and there, directing setup. Being like, no, I ordered this many bouquets. but just in the background of all the shots.
Yeah, so Cobus is taking a strong helping hand with the flowers, and he's listened to your every word. And like you said, you wanted orange and white flower, so he's been busy talking to the various creatures and getting them to help collect certain flowers and things like that. And he's been quite the florist lately. Here is the Misty Dawn Retreat. And I pictured kind of people's bedrooms over in this area for the main adventuring crew. When you're having the reception, probably guest quarters is a place where people can stay. I don't know if Stark and or Astor are cool enough to get private rooms proper, if they'd be shoved in the guest quarters at first.
Astor, her quarters are her lamp, so she just plunks it on a side table, and that's where she lives, you know?
There you go. All right.
I think Taisho is definitely afforded private quarters if it's clear that he's going to be with us in the long term.
Sure.
We're good to our people.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Let's see. All right. So what order do you want to tackle these in?
So what are our options?
We got, let's see. I'll write them down.
Sounds good.
Freya,
Between like important things, I feel like Karen's been trying to repay the favor to Kylo for teaching her how to read by teaching her how to do card tricks.
Nice.
Yes.
So we just get a couple shots of them, like a little coffee table in front of the fireplace, and she like bangs a deck of cards on the table. It's like, look, it's all in the wrist. You just gotta bang, and then it'll pop up like that. Was that your card?
It was my card.
Oh, yes!
Nice.
Well, you see, Kylo, that's the trick. She spreads the whole deck out on the table upside down. They're all the same card.
Jack of Diamonds.
You gotta have multiple decks at all times, rigged for different tricks. It's the only way to do it.
I think we might want... My personal opinion is I think we should talk about magic items first. That's some business that we can get out of the way.
All right. Okay. So there's a couple of things. You got the black dragon mask, and you touched it once and just got this immediate vision of Tiamat rising up from this fiery pit, and you just immediately dropped it. Since then, you picked it back up and like put it in a portable hole. Have you done anything else with it? Like, are you starting to study it? This is one of the artifacts that Nikolai was actually researching when you had told him about it.
Yeah, I think what might happen is that Kylo would be studying and researching the mask, and then Karen would be like, you know who would like to study that with you would be Nikolai.
My best friend, Nikolai.
So she would, Nikolai might also research or study the mask.
Yeah, he's going to be at the wedding, so we could do something a little bit after them. But I just wanted to know if you guys were doing anything with it beforehand. Did you say I was typing something? Did you say you were like messing around with it and researching it?
Yeah, we were. I think we agreed to study it a little bit.
All right. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. I think your Dragon Scholar stuff would apply here, so you would get advantage on the roll. But not really having any library or anything like that. I think I'm going to make the DC pretty high, probably DC 18, and we'll say...
Okay, can I Can I say that because she has Harper contacts and the next Harper ability at rank 4 is she basically gets to research any topic and then DM has to answer 5 questions about it? Could that maybe lower the DC by like 1 or 2?
Yeah, we were gonna. That was another thing that I forgot we were gonna do is like faction promotions. Pretty much everybody that was in a faction is gonna be rank 4, and Cobus was gonna shoot right up to rank 5 since he's been doing a lot for the Emerald Enclave and interacting with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'll lower that DC down to 15. Or wait, you can just ask 5 questions about it, right?
That, or I'd be fine with just rolling, since again, I don't really have the library/archives that are listed in the ability. I was just wondering, like, since she has contacts, if that would lower it slightly.
Well, this would be like a, this will happen over the next month or 2 months. So you'd be able to like stop off in Waterdeep and do stuff like that. So
Yeah, let me grab the ability specifically to make sure I'm not crazy. I can spend a day in one of them to research a specific topic, and then...
Yeah, go ahead and roll, and a failure means something secretly bad happens. DC
right.
15, and you have advantage.
Nice.
Nothing secretly bad happens. All right.
As far as we know, maybe the secret DC.
Nope.
Super bad.
As the DM, I do not lie.
This is fair.
It's just what he would tell you to throw you off guard.
Oh no!
All right. Here we go. What are your questions? I have to answer 5 questions about dragon masks and or this specific dragon mask.
We get 5 questions, so if anybody has any input on what these 5 questions should be, then I would absolutely like to talk about those.
I think final caveat lands with Kyla, of course, because this is certainly more in her wheelhouse than anybody else. But in a meta capacity, definitely find out if it's cursed. You know,
Yep.
if piece of it is going to negatively impact you in any way. Maybe if having it in our possession opens us up to surveillance, or if there's like a channel that Tiamat could more easily get to us through it. Abilities it has or would grant the user. I don't know. Is anybody else?
Maybe Lightbringer would be able to tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I see it, if I can make a history check on it and glean something from it.
Yeah, I'd let you do a similar thing. You don't have the Harper ability to just ask 5 questions, but if you want to roll history, DC 15, and then a failure, something secretly bad happens.
Okay.
But I'll still give you the information. Like, you'll still get the information even on a failure. All right, something secretly bad happens.
Oh no!
Okay.
But you have 6 questions instead of 5 now.
Nice.
And the first question is just, what is the secretly bad thing?
Yes.
Got him.
That can be one of your questions.
Alright, I think my first question will be, if I wear this mask, does it negatively impact me in any way or alter my thinking or personality?
No, not directly.
Okay.
Not direct.
Well, I imagine, like, after having such a powerful magic item for a time, then you might treat things differently.
It's not going to turn you into a black dragon slowly or make you think, man, I really like treasure and I like killing people. Nothing like that.
Right, okay.
You know who's seen really nice? Tiamat.
Is the vision that it that we see when we touch it about Tiamat, does that have something to do with where Tiamat is going to be, where the ritual is going to take place?
Not necessarily. It is a vision of what. It was more a vision about what the masks were designed to do. Like, it's designed to aid in the bringing back of Tiamat.
Okay. All right.
So, the fact that it was a volcano, that's just kind of symbolism.
Right. All right. Sounds good.
Hold on, let me write down these questions. So,
Yeah,
So what
I'm
I'm
at
doing
2 out of 6.
No beach episode.
We live on a beach.
Ah, that's a good point.
item. Well, what was the second question?
It was like, what's the vision about Tiamat? Does that show us like where the ritual is supposed to take place or anything like that? And your answer was it was just symbolism.
What's the symbology there?
My third question will be, how was it created and who was it created by?
It was created by Tiamat herself. Basically imparting some of her power to some of her followers long time ago, like eons ago. And the masks were lost to time until apparently pretty recently.
Dang, does she take commissions?
Is that one of your questions?
No.
Evil
Alright.
commission.
Let me know when you have that one down.
Okay, the mass. All right.
My fourth question will be, what are the full powers and effects of the mask? Like, what are all the effects and such?
All right. Let me see here.
Besides slowly turning us all into black dragons.
So there's
That's not such a bad thing.
Quickly turning us all into black dragons.
damage absorption. You have resistance to acid. Draconic Majesty. You can add your charisma bonus to your armor class. That's pretty slick.
Ooh.
Dragon Breath. If you have a breath weapon that requires rest to recharge, it gains a recharge of 6, so you can just keep shooting your Dragon Breath all the time.
Nice.
Nice.
Dragon Sight. You gain Dark Vision with a radius of 60 feet, or an additional 60 feet if you already have Dark Vision, and then once per day you can get Blind Sight out to a range of 30 feet for 5 minutes. And Blind Sight means you basically have Daredevil style. You can see everything without having to see. Like if someone had a hat of disguise on, then you'd be able to see their their true form, because it's more of a physical sight, and you'd be basically touching their face to see, oh, this is an illusion. It would also see through normal invisibility and things like that. Dragon Tongue, you speak and understand Draconic. You also have advantage and legendary resistance once a day. If you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead. And for the Black Dragon Mask, you can breathe underwater.
This is insane.
That makes sense.
This is a legendary magic item.
So, for the Dragon Breath thing, if Kyla were to wear it, she has the Dragon Breath spell, but that consumes a spell slot, so would that have any effect on that?
No, not really.
Okay, I didn't think so.
But I might give you like an acid dragon breath if you wanted, like the Dragonborn.
Oh yeah, that might be interesting. All right. Let's see. We still have 2 more questions left. Does anybody have any specific questions that they want to ask?
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific.
Where are the other 4?
That's not really about this mask.
Ah,
Dang.
Let's see.
We've got to use these questions because I got a bad thing.
Let's see.
Can Tiamat? Did we ask if Tiamat can see us through this or locate us through this?
That's a good one. I have one more after that. So, can Tiamat see us or locate us or hear us in any way through this mask?
Yes, absolutely. This is part of her being. This is part of her, not quite divine spark, but part of her power. And she has just an innate connection to these masks. She knows where all of them are at all times and can basically treat them as an idol or some sort of conduit for worship. Gods, and the way I treat gods is anytime there's like a statue of a god or a church for a god, they have an innate connection to that place and can change their focus to that. So she would be able to tell what you're planning and things like that.
All right.
Upon hearing that, Taisho immediately recoils. No, this is too dangerous to be in our possession.
Exactly,
Find
which
a
is
safe place for this.
my final question is: can it be destroyed? And if it were destroyed, what would happen?
Tiamat could destroy it. This mask could be destroyed, and basically the power would return to Tiamat.
Well, that's not very good either.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be here though. Let's see. So you ask, like, basically, how could you destroy it? Tiamat could destroy it, and it would take some kind of crazy quest, a wish spell, and I don't know what else. Probably some evil sacrificing, a volcano, some sort of crazy, powerful, magical site. It would take a lot to destroy it. It's not something you can just, I'll just toss it in the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, that's not gonna do it.
Gotcha.
What if we feed it to your gold dragon friend? Maybe that will do it.
That would probably lead to horrible indigestion.
Yeah, the acid mask.
Well, if anyone's stomach could bear such an awful indigestion.
That's what I was thinking, but
Um,
don't tempt me.
I'm just
so
trying to swallow it.
now we need to decide what we want to do with it. If we want someone to wear it, if so, Tiamat can see and hear us, but we might be able to also put the mask away at times if we were planning anything against her specifically. I'm not sure if she would still be able to see us through that, but just walk away from it or something. Or if we want to store it somewhere safely.
Yeah, if you were like carrying it around on your person in a bag of holding or whatever, then she wouldn't be able to. She'd know where her mask was, she'd know where the bag of holding was, so she'd be able to find it that way. But she wouldn't really be able to hear unless you're having the conversation like right in front of the bag of holding with it open and stuff like that. So I wouldn't go, aha, you guys are fools.
Only a little bit later.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
So I would. What do you guys think?
Karen.
I think it is far
types
too
of-
dangerous to be used.
I mean, it's got a lot of advantages, right? It's got a lot of advantages. We don't, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going for us right now. So maybe we bench it for now. And if we really need it, we can pull it out as a real ace up your sleeve.
Well, if we keep it with us at any point, then they're going to be able to track our movements very easily. We could use it as misdirection, make them think we're somewhere we're not.
We could plant a tree in the castle. All right, stay with me. And then Tobus can just walk through that tree, come pick it up when you need it. You know?
That's a very smart idea.
I thought
Leave
so.
this item unguarded. Be foolish and dangerous.
I mean, it's a castle. Got guards.
Flying castle in the air.
I feel like the safest people I'm inclined to leave it with would be the Harpers or some other faction, but I'm also not sure what they would do with it either.
Kyla, you remember how we infiltrated the cult?
Yes?
Harpers might not all be safe, as much as I don't like to say it, because I know most of you guys trust them, and that's fine or whatever. But, you know, moles are everywhere. You just got to keep your eyes open.
That's my concern.
Safest hands tend to be the ones we already know.
We insist on keeping this item with us. I recommend that it stay in the portable hole, in a pocket plane, until absolutely needed.
That sounds wise.
On the other hand, Tiamat might be able to see through it and hear through it, but she might not necessarily be able to do anything through it or act upon what she's seeing or hearing. So if it were used in combat or other situations, it might not be as dangerous.
Oh, so yeah, I assume as soon as you found out about the answer to that question, you put it away for for safekeeping.
Definitely.
In the hole.
In the hole with you.
Smartest business decision I ever made.
Yeah,
But
out of
if
character, I'm happy with whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But
but if it were something like neat or thematic that would happen when she said that, then I'm fine with leaving it out.
So there's one more question to ask, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I need to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I thought we used all our questions.
That was 5, but we got one more from start.
Yeah, but I thought we asked 6. Maybe I'm crazy, though.
Will the magic item negatively affect me? Is the vision about Tiamat rising from a volcano true? Who made the mask? What are the powers? Can Tiamat track us? That's 5.
Also, can it be destroyed?
Oh, yeah, can it be destroyed? You guys are out of questions. All right. Here's a great spot for us to take a break, because I need to. I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Shortly.
I'm back. We're getting to the wedding.
I am back.
Welcome back. Oops, forgot I'm on push to talk. Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
It's a difficult task. Why do we do a special time? A special
Medicine
time.
did not obliterate my character. Yeah!
Wait for a special time. So I use a spell and.
We have 5 characters, right?
Including NPCs, you have like 8 or 9.
Yeah, but I mean PCs.
5 PCs, yes.
So, theoretically, there are also 5 masks. Maybe each person can be like assigned a mask, so when we get it, like it's theirs.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see. I think Kobus would probably have the green dragon mask.
Good luck getting Stark to put his on. He sounds like he's all goody-goody. He doesn't want like dark magical artifacts.
Whatever.
I am back. I apologize. Took a little longer.
Oh, hi. Yeah, we were just...
We were just talking about you.
Good things, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Kaylee said, hey, there's 5 player characters and there's probably 5 dragon masks. We just get one for each of us.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough sell to Taisho.
That's what I was telling her.
We could... And I was like, who would want to put on a cursed, definitely evil magical artifact while
It's
they're
not
a cleric
cursed.
of the exact opposite god? I really don't see the problem here.
So, as Stark, I certainly see the potential of having all 5 masks, basing, if not Tiamat herself, at least the powers that represent her.
Yeah, go all Voltron, man.
But Taisho has some real issues with this artifact.
Yeah. I need to change my Roll20 picture to some more recent art. Red Dragon was ages ago.
Yeah, I wonder if you were wearing this in the presence of Tiamat herself. I don't know if it would still help you. She'd probably just make it blow your face up.
That too. I definitely wouldn't want to use them in the fight with Tiamat unless we knew for sure that she couldn't do anything with it, because they could be really useful against her if it only helped us, because it gives each of us resistance or immunity to a different kind of damage.
Yeah, this is by far one of the coolest game items I've ever had.
Definitely.
In a session, and it makes me wish I had a different character so I could use it. Yeah, really cool. And
So Stark's charging headlong into battle every time now. It's like, oh no, I died. I guess I'll make a new character.
Actually, while I was using the restroom, I was like, I wonder how many of these masks I could hang off myself. I'm tuned to 3 magic items. Can I have 3 masks?
So, I've always been like looking forward to this dragon mask, but I never really thought about who would wear it if we did assign it to somebody. So I'm fine with pretty much anybody wearing it, honestly.
Probably someone with a high charisma that doesn't wear armor would be the most benefit.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked.
So Cobus it is.
I don't think Yuri wears armor ever.
What's his armor class?
Your paladin doesn't wear armor?
No, I was goofing. That's the reason.
Oh, I got you.
My AC with +1 armor and +1 shield is 20.
Oh, nice. With this, I would have an AC of 18.
But if I had the mask and it added my charisma to my AC, it would be 23.
If you're not wearing armor, so you'd have to take off your armor.
Boo.
Get this cheap piece of garbage off me.
Yeah. Throws it like a frisbee.
Ridiculous. Only a 22 armor class. Pfft. It's sad to me that Tiamat probably has like a +15 to hit, so she'll just hit us on everything, even if we have ridiculously high ACs, like in the 20s or 30s.
I would assume it's almost a non-issue. If she attacks you, you're probably getting hit.
It's a
where,
formality.
Yeah, being a barbarian really pays off.
Well,
In theory, as long as you can resist whatever damage type she's using.
I have a bard in Curse of Strahd who has -2 strength and -1 dexterity and also an armor class of 10. So what I'm doing is I'm just being nice and polite to everyone so none of the NPCs want to fight me.
Yeah, that's like parboiled rice. That's you're minute rice at that point. You're pretty much already done.
rolling naked through Ravenloft, whistling to yourself as you go. Well, I am back. Allie's not quite back yet, by the way.
I'm back in a minute.
Okay.
Now my character is just being polite to everyone, calling them by their proper titles, trying not to, annoy or anger anyone, especially Straw.
Oh, you can anger them a little bit. That just makes them hyperfixate on you.
Oh, that's not very good.
No, it's great for drama. Oh, I need to adjust my jump distances now that my strength is...
Is all of your speed not enough?
Well, I'm sure it'd be fine.
There was this tabaxi in another game that had something that made their running speed like 60. But then they got a magic item that was the DM requested I homebrew for them, which doubled their walking speed.
Oh, gracious.
Wow.
So they're moving around like 120 feet in 6 seconds.
So
The Flash.
they're
Blur.
just speed walking in the mall.
Number of feet up to my strength score. Okay.
I do a lot of homebrew stuff for people, mostly dragons, but occasionally a magic item.
Seven. Okay. Very nice. Happy to report that my long jump distance is now 18 to 54 feet.
54?
54, yeah.
She's got boots of striding and springing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have the boots of striding and springing, and then my channel divinity, I think, might help me. My peerless athlete gives me advantage on strength, athletics, and dexterity acrobatics checks. I can push, drag, and lift twice as much as normal, and the distance of my long and high jumps increases by 10 feet.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's not even including that. Never mind. I didn't even factor that in. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I assume I could just use basically most of my movement in one jump. And you guys wait. Next level, I learned how to cast haste.
I'm just assuming that you're just bounding everywhere in combat, and I just assume you can just jump 30, 60 feet. Whatever you say you can jump, I'm just going to believe it.
That's
60 feet is like probably bigger than Tiamat. So I just imagine Yuri being enlarged twice by one of Kobus's potions and Kobus's spell at the same time. So he's huge. So he can grapple Tiamat by jumping up on top of her.
The glory.
Listen,
Yuri, the glory.
I'm not saying a kaiju battle wouldn't be fun.
So, when you're jumping that far, the amount of time your turn takes has not increased. So that can only mean that your velocity has.
Yep.
So can you learn to, like, forward drop kick with that momentum?
I mean, I probably could. I just don't know that it would mechanically affect my attack at all.
Tavern brawler.
Yeah, it's an abstraction. We're not
I
going
use
to...
my feet.
Well, that's why I use Thunderous Smite, because Thunderous Smite lets me push them back if they fail it. That's what I did to that wizard guy in the last fight. I just did a flying drop kick that smashed him in the wall. It was great.
Poor guy. He had such a good run.
All of his various bones.
He had a good one. It was a short one, but a good one.
Short and but a
It
good.
was a sprint.
The power of surprise attacks.
Sounds like we're all back. All right, so we're done asking questions. Stark, while you were researching this mask, and you were handling it, you got a vision. Somebody you don't recognize is this red robed guy. Let's see.
Oh crap! Since Barajah. Wait, Red Robe?
It's been Nikolai all along.
Maybe it's Raceland from Dragonlance.
Ooh, that shady guy.
No.
It's his brother, Hazelin. Not Sturm, the other guy.
Haruman.
Yeah, I forgot. Man, Sturm and that other guy. Can't keep them straight. I only read one of the books.
Yeah.
I was just so angry at one point. And, has everybody read the first Dragonlance book from eons ago?
Yes.
Oh wait. Sorry, he's got purple robes. I forgot all the
no.
leaders. All the leaders wear purple robes. But he does have these this red tattoo on his hand that covers one of his fingers entirely and kind of snakes up his arm. And he's holding another dragon mask. This one looks to be white, and he's giving to someone else that you don't recognize. And she, let's see. Through describing this person and you like relaying this to the rest of the party, you seem to think that this is the group lands on that this is Talus the White that's talking to someone else that you don't know and receiving the white dragon mask, assuming the leader of the Cult of the Dragon.
Later, huh?
Talus the White is giving the mask to somebody else?
Is receiving the white mask.
Is receiving it.
From this other guy that you don't know.
Are they familiar with, is the rest of the group familiar with Talus the White?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
She was the leader of the white, or she was an underling of the white dragonflight, like with the white branch of the 5 branches, who we encountered on the other side of the portal that led from the swamp castle in Ariatar. And she basically convinced us to go to the Flying Fortress to kill the actual leader of the White Dragonflight. I forget what his name was. He's dead now.
He got promoted to ahead of her.
Averum, yeah. He got promoted ahead of her, and she didn't like that. So we went there, killed her rival, and now she's got promoted. And
And has the white dragon mask. This does not bode well.
It bodes.
It bodes, but not well. We need to seek this Talus, destroy her, and capture this mask.
I maintain we should have done it in the first place, but here we go.
Well, I'll let y'all handle that. I'm retiring. Karen has been writing out wedding invitations herself. Now that she can do that, kind of.
Aw. They're all handwritten by Karen?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, she's not great at it, but she's kind of putting the effort.
Wow. She just learned to read and... Very nice.
I mean, she had so much downtime in the castle, I feel like they really got down to brass tacks. Not much else to do in a sky castle.
You can look out over the edge at all the clouds.
That's true. That's pretty good. Flying. Oh, one of the letters, though, that we do see her writing, she's talking out loud while she's writing it, just to keep it all straight. Dear Haynes, I just wanted to make you aware of my wedding to be on a date I will not be telling you at an undisclosed location as you are not invited. Have a wonderful day. Love, Karen Bramblefoot.
I thought you wanted him to send a gift.
She doesn't care. She does like a little lipstick kiss under her signature. So he knows.
Really tiny one.
Gully squints as she does that.
That's a little weird, but alright.
He'll know what it means.
What does it mean?
I hate this man. It's insulting.
If you say so.
It's very insulting.
All right. So I think we're done with Dragon Mask stuff.
What did we decide to do with it? Keep it in the bag of holding?
Yes. Some other pocket dimension, the hole or the bag of holding, something like that would be safest, but it could be used. If someone was willing to attune to it.
Yeah, I think attuning to a magic item takes 10, 20 minutes, something like that.
Need to plan slightly in advance, but
So
otherwise.
you can't just go, oh no, I should put it on right now. Sorry. It's not attuned to you. I would let you attune to it, but and like keep it in the hole, but then if you're attuned to it, then it's just the same as wearing it, basically, as far as what Tiamat would be able to hear and possibly other cultists.
Well, my logic is she can't keep an eye on all the masks at the same time, and even if she's like watching us constantly all of the time, if we ever wanted to like plan and talk about something important that we didn't want her to hear, then we could take it off, put it in the bag, like if we had the time to do that, and then reattune it later. That might give any amount of cultists some warning, but I'm pretty sure we would be able to handle that.
I would assume that she is always aware of everything happening through her idols at all times.
I mean, she got 5 heads, right? That's so many brains.
So many advantages on perception checks.
I'll help myself look over there for advantage.
Can't beat that.
Thanks, me. You're welcome, me.
I sound like a crazy.
Does that man have a pseudo-dragon?
He does.
He just became my very favorite leader. And is that pseudo-dragon totally not Scorch?
It is not Scorch.
Good.
That's
far as
off
we
the
know.
edge.
All right. So, what other business? We've got Tafreya Night Gym. We've got the chat with Shadow. And a wedding. Oh, wait. There were more magic items. I'm sorry. One more magic item that was kind of important was Resmir's longsword or greatsword. It's called... It has a name. Hazaron.
Is it sentient?
It is.
Oh, I didn't even read the thing.
Oh my god. Excuse me.
Oh, we can talk to it?
And it can talk to you.
That's a bad idea.
Oh, again, I have the wrong character.
Is it an evil sword?
Oh yeah, it's definitely evil.
Oh, yes.
Can I
It
talk
is.
to the sword?
But it's not necessarily... I mean, it's evil, but I mean, it's still a sword. This one would influence your behavior a little bit and might try to do things untowards. If you attune to this thing, then it will get to control your actions sometimes.
Like make a wisdom save or something, maybe?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I can't have some sentient sword claiming credit for all my deeds, so I think I'm out.
Maybe there's a genie in there.
Don't tempt.
She taps the blade. Hello? Is anybody in there? Hello? Like I said,
Imbecile.
Ah!
Do not touch me.
Wow, what a magnificent sword.
Pretty rude. I'm just gonna put you in a room now. Feel good about that.
I'd rather be in a room than have you wield me.
I don't really appreciate the reverse psychology that they're trying to do to me right now. I've already got a pretty cool sword. She listened to one psych lecture she was passing through town.
Reverse psychology.
Off the stage. Reverse psychology. She will use that word and maybe not completely understand what it means, but she thinks she does. That's half the battle.
But yeah, it's not really forthcoming with any kind of information, but it doubts any of you are worthy of wielding it.
Could I ask just what its goals are in general? If it would be willing to give us that information?
Yeah. Let's see. Neutral evil sword likes killing things. Likes. It likes being used in battle. Its goals in general are just to cut a path through anything that stands in its owner's way and not put up with any crap from anybody.
Probably wouldn't like it if we used it like a weed whacker, huh?
Try it and see.
Maybe
Well,
That's the path to good. Teach it how to be a farmer instead.
it's very wholesome. I like it.
I'm sure it likes putting hold of things, but maybe start with some grass.
You're right.
Taisho's
Well-
having an inner monologue about if you use an evil weapon to kill evil things, isn't that good?
Like Batman dilemma.
yeah, I was about to bring up to the sword, like, we're gonna be attacking and fighting a lot of things in the future. They're not exactly good people, so, like, would the sword still be okay with it as long as it's killing people? They're evil people?
Sounds
Yeah.
like killing's killing, you know?
Killing's killing. It seeks power, glory, and death.
I'm only 1 for 3. Well, 2 for 3, really.
Astor, perhaps this is a better weapon for you.
Oh no, I'm not touching this thing. This is crazy evil.
To be fair, you already did once. Remember when you were like, hello, is
I
there a
touched
genie?
the blade, not the hilt. It's very different.
You're
Well,
right. Shit.
I know I, for one, can't wield a great sword, obviously. Not nearly strong enough.
Yeah, using evil to fight evil, Lori gives her thumbs up. She's you've got the Lori seal of approval.
Yes, Jackie, it might do something on swords.
Oh no,
Very
what
good.
have you done?
Right. I like the idea behind this, but it's just not really my style. I'm not so much a swordman.
What if we burnt some herbs around it? Let's, purge the evil, and then it just is a thing that likes, doing normal stuff, opening letters, chopping firewood.
Sentient magic items are extremely powerful. Nothing as simple as burning herbs would affect it in any way.
If I had a bridge of my nose, I would be pinching it right now. Just sheath me and throw me in a room. Someone will find me eventually.
You can't pinch your nose because you don't have hands, which means you also can't wield yourself, which means you need someone to wield you.
Oh, what the predicament? You fool.
Wield me or do not. I am done with this conversation.
Goodbye.
Out of character, does the sword's voice have a gender, or is it just
It's just a
item.
sword.
A new hand touches the beacon. Skyrim.
Nope.
For anybody out there? No, okay.
God, I avoid picking that up so much.
Oh my god.
I always find it in my inventory anyway.
Beacon,
Who, like Meridia's beacon?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, that quest is so annoying. Just because the quest itself isn't actually that bad, but it's her that just triggers me because she says the most arrogant things. It is so annoying. It's like, you must return the beacon so my light will shine on Skyrim and her people. And I'm like, I've never heard of this woman.
Who even are you?
It's like,
I'm just, you pick up an item, you're hearing voices, and you're supposed to do a ritual that will affect all of Skyrim positively, of course.
Hey, Meridia, this is distracting me from my main quest of learning how to shout really loud and have things explode. So I'm a dip out. Lovely to meet you.
The really annoying thing is that after you pick the item up, you can't get rid of it until you do the quest, and then she just constantly yells at you and chastises you for not doing what you want to do. So it's like, go away.
She will still keep annoying you if you don't do the quest. After you pick it up, there's no going back. She'll just be like, why haven't you returned my beacon yet?
And it
You
just
insolent fool!
starts appearing in treasure chests and stuff when you hit a certain level. So when you see it in there, you just ignore it, and then you'll go an hour later, it'll appear in another chest, and you're like, stop following me. Stop trying to track me into picking you up.
This isn't a honeypot.
Anyway, sorry.
You find it in a honeypot, actually.
This weapon is evil and needs to be destroyed. How do we do that?
Really, the best way to destroy something is to forget about it.
We could throw it into a volcano.
Do you know where one of those is?
I've seen one on the map before. Can't be too hard, right? I think that'd be really fun, just chucking it in there, see how far it falls. Does lava splash like water? I don't know, but I want to see.
Perhaps we keep it in the bag until we can find a suitable volcano.
What if it learns to wear the mask?
That's a really good point.
Well, it doesn't have any hands, so we already covered that. Never mind.
How did you defeat Resmir? How did this band of fools...
With a lot of fireballs.
And tenacity.
This sword hates us so much.
Already.
Hazaron, how long have you been sentient? Have you always been sentient since you were created, or?
Yes. How long have you been sentient? I've been as sentient as long as I have been.
I wasn't sure if when you were created as a magical sword, or if you were created
If
as a
not,
sword
then
and
I
turned
wouldn't
into-
know it.
The sword seems very full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any jokes?
One big avocado.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, that was okay.
What happened to the sword after it was sheathed and thrown away and forgotten forever?
What, yeah, right.
It was... Nobody knows. It was forgotten forever. And then he shoves it and puts it in the bag.
Well, the good joke.
All right.
Yeah, out of character. If we want to look for a way to destroy the sword, that's
let's
totally
destroy
fine.
this.
Yuri doesn't know anything about magical artifacts or how to affect them. Does Taisho have anything like that in his history?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
None of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What were you saying, Stark?
I'm not aware of any way to destroy a magic weapon or item for that matter. But like the mask, I think it's best left someplace safe in our guard.
So what makes a sword magical or sentient? Do we know how it's done and created in the first place? Or perhaps Nikolai have some idea?
Well, I tried to ask, but
Yeah, it's kind of a jerk, kind of mean, and it doesn't like you so far. So
this is fair.
I don't see it cooperating.
Well,
This is also fair.
what I was wondering is if we could find someone to, repurpose its essence, make it into a better sword. Something more in line with our goals. Or, anything really. A sword, a shield, something useful.
No, I have a question, and maybe it's a little bit silly. Do we know that all swords cannot do this? They just can't talk normally?
Yuri pulls the shield off his back.
Yeah, I deftly try to just touch the hilt of my sword without anybody really noticing that I'm trying to see if my sword talks, if I think about it.
It does not.
Well, I'm sure detect magic would tell us.
Maybe.
My 8 intelligence basically says that. I've never
Join
tried
the
to
crew.
talk to my sword.
Yes.
No!
Yuri
Hey,
pulls
what's
his
Aster's intelligence?
God.
Oh, I
Don't
did
work
send
much
me
for
a
book
fluffy
learning.
thing for my microphone, by the way.
I love playing dumb characters, so.
For the record, my characters will not be picking up any cursed evil sword unless it's Frostmourne.
Well, Frostmourne does hunger.
Of course.
Yeah, Yuri pulls his shield off. It's like that nice, got the sun emblazoned, the gemstone in the middle, and he shakes a little bit, wraps his scaly knuckles, and says, hello? Hello, can you hear me? We've been around a long time, but I never tried to speak to you before. No? Well, it was worth a try.
Is the mask sentient?
Nope.
Alright, didn't think so.
Thank God.
Yeah, Taisho's mildly disappointed that his sword didn't talk back to him.
Well, you could have a talking sword if you just reached in that bag and took it for yourself.
I'm too attached to my shield.
Sorry, my cat just pushed my push to talk button. If anybody heard anything. He does this thing, like he'll get up on my desk and if he gets in the sun, he just starts going crazy. He'll just like roll around and like rub his head on everything and claw people.
Solar powered cat.
If you have a
Yep.
video of that, I wouldn't mind.
Oh god, he almost just fell off the desk. Oh goodness.
So
All right, so moving past this sword, done with that. This was Rezmir's sword, and right now Hazron is going in the portable hole. Deal with that later.
Oh, question to the group. What? Do you guys remember what Frill got damaged on Yuri in his Cyan Wrath fight way back when?
Left side.
Which side?
Left side.
Left
I just remember it was his good side.
Okay.
His
Yeah,
good
the
side.
Because I remember rolling a 1 and it was 1 was left and 2 was right and left was the good side, so
I
Gotcha.
appreciate your steel trap mind.
I'm finally.
thank you. For some reason I just remember like the most random detail that don't matter.
No, it's good. Well, it does matter, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, we can watch the video because it's up there. All right. I'd like to move past to Freya for right now and just move on into the wedding.
Oh boy.
Dun, dun, dun. So, over the next few days, some guests arrive early, some arrive like a day or two early, just to hang out. People that you would consider your friends, like Nikolai, Barum Swiftblade, and Lightbringer and his retinue. Let's see.
You'll be gracious hosts to everyone that arrives.
Yeah, at my first opportunity, I will try to approach Lightbringer with great respect and demure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. I'll post this in Discord. No, not my DM notes.
That would be bad.
So, alright, I'm honest, I wouldn't look at him.
See, I have the weirdest feeling that like there's gonna be an ambush next session at this point. Like, you know, it's just a feeling. I wouldn't know or anything, but might want to prepare for that.
Who would ambush a wedding? That has never happened in any kind of fiction I've ever consumed.
Ever.
And certainly not one with red banners.
And certainly not Barum Swiftblade the Magnificent.
That's
No.
so mean, Nick.
Oh no, that's savage. The defiant
Awesome.
dumb.
Aww.
All right, so I posted a link. But yeah, there's a lot of NPCs that are coming. Probably not everybody on this list, obviously. There's some good guys and some bad guys there.
The defiant dumb.
But the top page definitely shows up. So Lightbringer arrives with a couple other people. You recognize Sirocco. You don't recognize the other lady, but you find out her name's Elia. Let's see. Lightbringer usually has a serious look on his face and seems distracted by his thoughts. However, his expression softens whenever Kyla enters the room. He wears simple clothes, but the ornamentation is golden, like on his buttons and rings and stuff. And he also has a black cane with a golden grip. Kyla, when you see him, he just seems just like a teeny bit older. Like you've been gone for a while. About a year, I'd say, going up and down the Sword Coast doing this stuff. And the cane is new, and he's not favoring his right leg, but he is actively using it to walk now. And those are just a couple of details that you notice. But when he sees you, he smiles broadly, and he gives you a big hug. I couldn't find a portrait with golden eyes for golden orbs for eyes, but just assume that that's what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
And Sirocco looks to be a man in his mid-20s. He wears flashy colors and multiple pieces of jewelry. Sirocco enjoys listening to tales of adventure and bragging about his own exploits. And I picture him and Yuri definitely trading war stories.
Oh, they're gonna get along so well because Sirocco is also a brass dragon.
Nice.
Yep, and so like his tales, he doesn't hide the fact that he's a dragon. He talks about like biting into other people or other creatures' flesh, breathing fire, flying, all kinds of fun stuff.
I mean, that's anything a warlock could do.
Oh no!
Fair.
But they arrive. They arrive on the back of a merchant wagon, and Lightbringer thanks them, and Sirocco actually helps him get down from the wagon to come and claim a room for himself in the house. And then the other lady's just quiet and hangs back a bunch.
Is she also a dragon?
You're not sure?
Gotcha.
But she doesn't. If you try to like interact with her, she's just polite and cordial, but then she just immediately finds another spot to stand as soon as like the conversation is probably before it ends. She just moves off.
Just like, it's been wonderful speaking to you. I need to go. Takes like 3 steps and faces the other direction.
Hi, my name's Kyla. It's been wonderful speaking to you.
Did I do like a maybe an insight check or Arcana maybe?
What would be an interesting failure case?
Ooh, she offends her, makes a bad impression.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe she could see Kyla as suspicious or something along those lines.
Yeah, we'll say DC 14. You don't have advantage on this. And yeah, if you fail, then she just cools off entirely to you and just doesn't like you. She's like, you're in my business, get out.
Gotcha. Is it insight or Arcana?
We'll go insight.
Ugh.
You don't have to roll.
I think I'm good. I'm just gonna go with the theory that she's a silver dragon and leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, and Lightbringer comes probably the day of the wedding. He's maybe the day before, just to spend the night and catch back up with Kyla, see what she's been up to. Nikolai Komarov and Barham Swiftblade probably appear a couple days in advance. And Sir Esteval, you don't really know who this guy is directly, but you have seen him before. He was this purple dragon knight from Cormyr, and he's just like a well-known hero of the realm and a member of the Lord's Alliance. He received a wound from a green dragon on his leg that resists healing, and he walks with a dragon thigh-bone cane, the same one that gave him that wound.
Nice.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
He was the one that we saw when we were with the caravan about to go into Baldur's Gate or Waterdeep, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Karen's being a very gracious host. She's personally greeting each one of the guests. She's very excited to see her boss.
Oh yeah, could we, after catching up with Lightbringer and stuff, could we ask for his opinion on the Black Dragon mask?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so after he gets there, one of the first things he does is he finds a room and he takes a nap.
Nice, respect.
Relatable.
You expected it's something you didn't expect he would do. It was just a little weird. But yeah, after a couple of hours, he's back up, eats some food, and yeah, he's happy to chat with you. Kyla. What is this you have? Something about a dragon mask?
Yes, when we took down the flying castle, the leader of the Blackwing had this very powerful dragon mask artifact, but while it has many benefits, apparently Tiamat can also see and hear us through it.
Yes, that is true. It is a powerful tool, but it is linked directly to Tiamat. What advice are you looking for here? Are you wanting me to tell you not to use it, or to tell you to use it?
Well, I'm not sure, because on the one hand, it has many benefits that could be very, very powerful, especially against a black dragon, but on the other hand, I don't know exactly how powerful Tiamat is through that mask.
I don't think she could directly affect you, if that's what you're asking, but through knowledge, she would be able to send her agents after you and yours. But I'm sorry to say, this place isn't exactly a secret.
Yes, it's kind of hard to miss the giant flying castle.
Indeed, indeed. So, just be careful. I think it would be okay to use it, but just be cautious with it is all.
All right. Thank you for your wisdom.
Just picture Kyla like bursting out the door, being like, "Lightbringer said I can use it."
Did he give you any warnings? It's not important. Point is, I can use it.
I'm allowed. Grandpa said yes.
Great. However many is like 7 centuries of great.
It's gold peppy.
So, Taisho, you said you wanted to speak with Lightbringer as well?
Would Taisho know that this is Lightbringer in human form? Or would somebody inform him of that, perhaps?
I think somebody would inform him.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
When it seems appropriate to not bother him, I would approach him and greetings, Mr. Lightbringer. I am Taisho Mori. As you can see, I am a cleric of Bahamut. Might I ask you a question?
Of course.
Some 40 years ago, 45 years ago now, I guess, a golden dragon visited my village. Would it have been you, perhaps, visited our temple of Bahamut?
If you give him the town name, then he would confirm. Yes, that indeed was me. My memory's not as good as it once was, but I do remember visiting that small town.
You can see I kind of almost like, whoa, kind of shaking a little bit like, wow. I am very grateful to have met you that day, as you have set me on the path of Bahamut. You were a great inspiration to me and continue to be. To meet you is an honor, and if there's anything I can do in your service, please let me know.
The honor is mine that you would dedicate your life to Bahamut and perform those good deeds in his name. He just does a little half nod and says, "Thank you for your service."
I'll give him a little half bow and thank you again, sir. And just kind of walk away.
That was pretty cool, Stark. You can take inspiration from
Yeah,
all.
that's awesome.
Very cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
Great time. So, who's the old man?
Oh, that's my boss.
Oh,
Yes.
he's the.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Do you want to go meet him? Come on, I'll introduce you. She almost drags him over, like she's got her new leg now. Really nice. She still walks with a cane though.
Ooh, what's your new leg?
Well, let me tell you about it. It's very cool. It's made out of the white dragon hide. So she wanted a little trophy, for the leg. But it's just, kind of a standard prosthetic. It's not too fancy, but it looks super sharp. Gully made it. He's so talented.
Yeah, he was a cobbler or leather worker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes to both.
Very talented.
Nice, yeah. I'd say probably working with dragon scales is gonna push the limits of his skill, but he managed to fashion something that looks pretty cool.
Nice. I imagine she plopped some of the hide down on his work table and was like, "You ever made anything from an apex predator before?"
No.
My cat is chewing on my curtains and I don't know what to do.
Shadow.
Shadow. But Kara drags Yuri over to meet Lightbringer. She introduces him cordially.
Yeah, he's chosen like a very comfortable chair for himself, and he's been left alone for a little bit, and he's just kind of drifting off a little bit. And
I don't want to wake him up.
He like leans back and takes in a deep breath. Ah, Karen.
Hi, boss.
Thank
you for coming.
It's a pleasure to witness such a lovely ceremony. And if I do say so myself, I think granting you a bit of my power was a wise decision.
I'll tell you what, I really appreciated it.
He looks down at your leg and says, sorry that happened to you, but you seem to be getting around okay.
Oh yeah, I can fly now. Like, this ain't really a thing. I just gotta get used to it, you know?
Understood.
But this is my good friend Ignatius Yuri. You may have heard his tales of greatness, sung across the realm. He's ever so good.
Yuri's sort of bashfully standing there, but puffs up a little bit when she mentions him by name.
Do his frills do like a little droop when he's bashful?
His frill does.
But yeah, you got a little bit of a frill on this side, is it?
Yeah, his sheared off facial section. Yes, great Lightbringer. It is my honor to meet you and be in your presence.
He shakes his head and holds out a hand to shake your taloned claw. He shakes it and like you're expecting like this strong iron grip of like that's gonna crush your hand, but it's not. It's just a normal hand. Seems just like a human, and it's just a firm handshake. You're actually a little bit worried that you might hurt him because he's in the form of an old man right now. He says, yes, Kyla has written to me and told me of the deeds of you and your group, and I must say, Yuri, it's very impressive. People will be singing about the Defiant Dawn for a long time to come.
I think his eyes widen a little bit and his nostrils flare like somebody just told him he was getting a big promotion. Like, it is my honor and privilege to contribute. And both Kyla and Karen have been assets to the fight against the cult.
She laughs.
Yuri usually does not get flustered over himself, so...
Well, if you could do me a small favor, just keep an eye on Kyla for me. She tends to be more curious than wise or safe. And I worry about her.
You're right.
She does have a penchant for speaking to dangerous creatures.
Yes, she does. She's got a bit
Yuri
of the
included, am I
gold
right?
dragon bravery.
All these centuries-old dragons giving the same advice. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Nothing to read into there.
No.
Yeah, it's not important.
Clearly they want me to keep being dangerous, and this is a test of my willpower.
What's that thing you mentioned, Aster? Reverse psychology?
Oh, yes, reverse psychology is what I call them. She shouts from the other room. I can read.
Taisho gets an opportunity. He would like to approach Kyla and talk to her about Lightbringer.
All right, yeah, there's plenty of time before the ceremony commences.
Oh yeah, and before that happens, Kyla would also like to recommend that Yuri go meet Sorako.
Yeah, you guys start talking loudly about what you did, and there's other guests that are starting to appear at this point. Some of the catering staff and some of the bard and support for the bards and things like that are around to hear the tales, and you and he probably start drinking a little bit and just trade war stories back and forth, one-upping each other.
That's all I could ask for.
I remember this one fight at the very beginning, like it was the first combat, and Yuri got very slightly drunk, so every time he retold the story of the kobolds, there were more and more of them. So originally it was like he killed 3 kobolds with his breath weapon, and the 4th one was like singed or something. But towards the end it was like, and I killed 15 kobolds in one mighty breath.
Sounds right.
So I also remember this. Yuri only went along with it because someone else had gotten drunk and started to exaggerate more before him, so he just didn't stop anybody from believing it.
I'm sorry, did I say 15? I meant 20.
These weren't ordinary kobolds. They were huge.
They were dragons.
Legs, but still.
Ms. Kyla, if I could have a word with you, please.
Oh, yes, of course.
I've never met Lightbringer in this form before. Is he normally this frail?
Not usually. This is actually very strange.
It was a bit disconcerting to see him so seemingly powerless.
Yes.
Do we need to be concerned for him?
Well, he's an ancient gold dragon. I'm sure he can handle himself. But on the other hand, when I saw him even just a year ago, which is nothing for a dragon, he was completely different.
Perhaps the rise of the cult is bringing upon some sort of malady?
Perhaps.
I do not feel it is right or proper for me to ask a dragon of his stature a question of such. Perhaps you could, though?
I'm actually really glad this conversation is happening because I was hoping to do a sidebar with Lightbringer, like, "Hey, Ross, how you feel?"
He would be a great and potent ally for us, but not if he is ailing, unwell.
Yes, that is my concern. Besides, he also has very many things to handle in the Northeast. Especially with things going on with that town, other issues in that area specifically. I don't really think he has the time to deal with the cult as well, which is why he sent us.
I would appreciate it if you had an opportunity to speak with him to find out if he is unwell. And if he is, if there's something we could do to help.
Yes, I'll see if I can speak with him about that.
Appreciated.
Sorry, drinking water.
And if I didn't, I don't think I mentioned it, but anytime one of you is coming up to talk to Lightbringer, your attention is almost always just focused on him. He just draws your eye, and you can feel just that impressive, just powerful presence, you know. But then after the discussion, you see that silver-haired lady, the white-haired lady. Just she's always in a corner somewhere, watching you intently. After throughout the entire conversation.
Me specifically, or anybody who talks to him?
Anyone. Even Kyla.
Gotcha.
Even.
Yeah, the fact that you said even makes me think that she's suspicious of us.
So now you're suspicious of her.
Aha! Maybe she failed her insight check.
Ooh. Gasp.
Well, yeah, I think if Kyla gets the opportunity, she'll probably approach Lightbringer and ask him how things have been for him in the year that she's been gone. Try not to directly ask him, "Why are you acting so old, Lightbringer?"
Like at first you beat around the bush a little bit and you're asking about how he did, and he talks about some of the plans that he had and some of the plans that he followed up on. He mentioned a few like important events that happened in the town. But yeah, he doesn't answer that question of, "Hey, why are you acting so old?" If you want to try and ask the question without asking the question, maybe some sort of skill roll, and I think a failure means that he just won't answer.
I think she might just kind of directly ask the question, like, "How are you feeling? You seem very different than when we last saw each other a year ago."
Yeah, and he says that he's, I'm fine. Things are going well. The cult is moving about, and but I feel like honestly, I feel like we'll have it under control. With groups like you and yours, I'm not too worried about it. I don't believe Tiamat will return to this plane.
Insight.
I'm not even gonna bother rolling insight because Gold Dragon's charisma has to be like a 25 or something.
That's okay.
That's not really a dragon.
Yeah, you know this is like, you 100% know this is Lightbringer. I'm not gonna
Okay.
mess around with that.
Karen lifts up her eye patch to squint.
I'd be willing to roll insight or maybe persuasion to like you said, ask the question without asking the question or something like that.
Yeah, so I think if this is something he wanted to keep hidden, it'd probably be hard. So probably DC 18.
For insight?
Yeah.
Ugh. All right.
You can spend inspiration or something.
I would love to spend an inspiration. All right. That's not very good.
Yeah, so it just like he understands that you're asking the question. Would you like to spend one of your luck points on this? Is this super important to you?
I'm kind of concerned for him, so yeah, I would. And for some real life reasons, I am very suspicious.
Yeah, yesterday she's like, "You did something to Lightbringer. I don't know what it was, but you did something." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
So I will spend a luck. Here goes.
Eck, how many luck points do we get?
3. Usually 3 per session. Oh, 17.
So close.
So what if you left it again?
No, hold on a second. Let's see. What could you sacrifice in order to get to that 18? You just missed it by 1. I think it'd be interesting to find out why.
We could give him our bloodthirsty sword.
Maybe if it's. Let me think. I'm trying to figure out how they're something that would negatively impact us, or more specifically Kyla, to figure this out.
I was thinking about the sword, and at first I was like, nah, you guys don't really want that. But this is a magical sword that you would be able to use for something else. Like that's a very powerful magic item. If you so giving that up isn't just we were going to throw it away anyways, because this was like a token to do something in the future. If you want to say you give him as part of that.
I'd say that's a party decision, absolutely, because I don't know what anybody else wants to do with the sword, and
I mean,
since I don't really have any purpose for it or reason to keep it, then that's definitely other people's decision.
I wouldn't mind keeping this chump of a sword along just to harass. But I just think that's funny, but
I can think of no better place for the sword than in the hands of Lightbringer. To do with what he pleases. Destroy it, hopefully.
No, if you give it to Lightbringer, it's going in his hoard.
Fair. I mean, up in that mountain can be lonely sometimes.
hey, Lightbringer, have you ever considered murdering that whole town down there? Just a thought.
Just a thought. Just spitball in here.
Hold me your great dragon mouth and swing me about.
I appreciate you thinking proactive.
Or you could roll another luck point.
I can't luck the same roll over and over unless you allow it.
Okay, never mind then. Or you can offer me some other kind of sacrifice, or we can move on.
Definitely sacrifice something.
Is anybody opposed to the sword going into Lightbringer's hoard?
I am not. I feel like it is very safe with him.
I think we like the idea of having a magical sword around that we can have these like deriding conversations with, but I don't think anybody's actually going to use it just because it is like a very evil weapon. And Yuri isn't, he's proficient in using greatsword, but that's not really his fighting style. So, like mechanically, I would lose a lot of my class functionality if I did anything other than unarmed attacks.
But if it's also a cool plot hook for later, I wouldn't mind keeping it around.
There were no definite plot hooks that were tied into the module or anything like that. It's mainly just it's a really cool item, it's a powerful item, and it's the moral quandary of we have this evil sword. Do you want to use this evil sword or not?
Gotcha.
Seems like Allie kind of wants to keep the sword.
I just like that I can talk.
Well, then try
I'm a simple woman with simple desires. Talking sword apparently is one of them.
And pockets in your jeans.
Oh gosh, true.
More being able to taunt the sword, I think, is the simple desire. So, all right, so let's come up with a different sacrifice that Kyla can give up. Staff of Flame.
Whoa! I mean, that's
if you don't like that, come up with something else, man. I'm easy. I'm an impartial game master.
Okay, not the castle, but maybe something related to the castle. Like give Lightbringer some kind of power over what happens to it, or.
I'm not giving Lightbringer a castle.
I'm not trying to give him the castle. I'm just offering ideas for like something
Listen,
related.
do we really know this guy?
We got that magic gem that lets you attune to different weapons. We've got a couple of other weapons that we picked up from people.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff's like minor. Like he wouldn't care about like the Lantern of Revealing or but a Staff of Fire, that's cool. This sword, that's cool.
Staff of Fire is up to Allie because that was kind of her magic item. That was the reason we got it back in the first place.
You have one too now.
You have two. One of them is Karen's, and one of them is yours. So, like, if you gave up yours and Karen still kept hers, then
real talk. If you give up your staff, Karen is retired. So she's gonna give it to you as a wedding present.
No. That's not sacrificing.
I would only one staff, Ek.
I think I would be willing to give up the Staff of Fire. It's gonna be so funny if it's actually nothing's wrong.
There's something going on here, but whether or not it's worth the Staff of Fire, I'll leave that up to you. But if you want to give that up, then I'll clue you in on what's going on.
Well, I have a lot of the spells that the Staff of Fire allows me to cast and stuff like that. So I'd be willing to give the Staff of Fire up unless anybody else wants it.
Go for it.
All right. He it's more natural than, hey, I'll give you this staff to get the information that you're keeping from me, you secretive old man. But it comes out, and he smiles at you and he just says, there's nothing wrong. This is not some cult ploy or anything of the sort. I'm just getting older.
It makes me so sad. Out of character.
Kyla just like slowly moves her hand back to the staff. Closer towards her.
No. You leave that here.
That was like the worst case I could imagine.
Mortals forget sometime that dragons, though we live exceptionally long times, we do not live forever, and I'm just getting older.
Quick question. How many years old is Lightbringer?
Yuri. Over 4 millennia?
Wow.
What's millennia?
1,000 years. So
1,000
over
years.
4,000 years.
Jeez, he's living like 3 times longer than a normal dragon. I can imagine why he's getting old.
I've
How old is he? He's 4,000.
yeah, over
Roughly?
4th, somewhere over that. After a while, he stopped counting. He's been around long enough to where he's seen empires rise up, fall, and be forgotten to time.
Oh wow!
So he's been around a while.
Okay, so a regular ancient dragon might be 1,000 years old, and he's 4,000 years old.
1,400 is what's considered great worm, a powerful, big dragon.
Wow,
Yeah, he's
It's an ancient, pretty much. Yeah, 4,000 is insane. So that would be a human living to 300 or 400.
That'd be like at the middle of your life, you got to shake hands with Christ. It's like you've already, and you've lived that long, and then you live that long again.
Yeah.
Man, I'm imagining he's just giving out warlock powers at this point. He's like, they make me feel young. Look at them go.
Look at them. Use it.
Like children in a candy shop.
Just sneezes on somebody by accident and they get magic powers.
Thank you, Lightbringer.
What if he can see through the people he gives powers to? Oh, and if you're ever sad about only having 2 spell slots as a warlock, just remember that Lightbringer gave all the other so only 1 spell slot.
Karen's the favorite.
You are the favorite, Karen.
Yes. Just he's not officiating any of these other chumps' weddings.
No, he's not.
They weren't bold enough to ask, the cowards.
Fortune favors the bold.
But yeah, that's the only thing that's going on. That's just time.
No, that's not something we can change.
Unless.
Wish spell.
I'm sure Tiamat has a way to prolong life.
Ooh, we should ask.
We should ask. You have that mask. Just go put it on.
You know what?
Wait,
I bet
Tiamat!
that blood drinking sword has some really good ideas.
What
I
you
really
should
like the
do
color
is mix Nightshade and Foxglove. It makes a very good combination that leads to long life.
Hey, Lightbringer, have you heard about essential oils?
This isn't something we need to fix. It is the natural order.
But what if it wasn't? I guess it's fine.
Yeah, he gets up, he kisses you on his forehead, and he just walks back into his room.
God dang it, Lightbringer. He better not go and die. That would...
No.
How dare you?
Right?
Is that why you said was her patron?
No, I said was
You're
because you were
beef this
retiring.
dragon today?
I'm not beefing the dragon.
Okay.
Sounds like what someone who was gonna beef a dragon would say.
Like how we're all saddened that Lightbringer's gonna die soon, but he's gonna live another 500 years and we'll all be dead.
Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, if I had made Lightbringer an adult gold dragon, then the cult probably would have just killed him if Dad wanted him dead, because I mean, he's a gold dragon that could theoretically help us.
Wanted him dead. I'm just the storyteller. I'm just here. I don't want anything. I just want to tell a good story.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I just want to tug at those heartstrings every once in a while.
Yeah, killing off Sarah. What the heck?
That wasn't me. That was
gone away on a
Cobus.
violin.
See, he likes to use heartstrings like garrote wires.
Horus is the person that killed Sarok, not Ek.
But you made the description sound terrible.
I made a
Big
choice.
shiny button.
I made a choice. I gave him a choice, and he chose to let Sarok die to keep everyone else alive. That was the sacrifice he made when that roll failed, and I thought it was a great story moment.
And it was.
Cobus,
Don't blame me.
A likely story, Ek.
Yeah.
Now let's have this wedding so I can kill Lightbringer.
No! Got him!
All right, so that was a little bit sad. Palate cleanser, puppies and kittens.
Or eating kittens.
All right.
Jackie, you're correct. The years start coming, and they don't stop coming.
Shrek was wiser than we gave him credit for.
And just, I imagine, Eck is planning to kill Lightbringer, and he just says, "And wait till I tell you about Barm Swiftblade the Magnificent."
No.
He is such a criminal. Absolutely.
He's the real Lightbringer in disguise.
He's committed like 10 felonies, I'm sure of it.
So is Karen.
Only 10. That's chump change. You mean 10 different types of felonies. Okay.
Wow. That's respectable, honestly. I'm surprised, he didn't get caught. Good for him.
I don't know. Why is jaywalking on here?
So it's a sunny day. There's an azure blue sky. Gulls are squawking in the distance as the waves rumble and crash against the rocks below. Their scents of honey, vanilla, and lavender mingle with the salty air. Nearby, white lotus blossoms float atop a crystal clear pond at the edge of the manor's garden. At the center of each flower is a small orange burning candle. A broad canopy composed of hundreds of orange freesias and white chrysanthemums shades the area where the bride and groom will exchange their vows, as well as the dais where Lightbringer will be standing. As the ceremony progresses, petals slowly drift down from the canopy, showering the couple. Also floating off the shore, well into the air, is looks like a majestic ice castle sprouting out of this cloud. It is picture perfect.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Who's giving Karen away?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. I'm looking at you for suggestions.
Well, who would her father figure be if not Lightbringer, who's already officiating?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Could be Yuri, could be Ugg, could be
Nikolai Komarov.
Nikolai.
Oh my gosh. My best friend Nikolai. She could have had the forethought. She could have had Haynes come to do that and then punt him into the ocean. But that's the wrong tone for a wedding.
Oh.
I just
Could
realized that
Ugg walk her down?
Ugg is still
Down the
around.
aisle? He saved her from death so many times by dying himself.
Ugg is such an amazing NPC. Ugg is just like, oh, he's just a dumb orc NPC. Like, no, Ugg is special.
He's
We
just
is
easy to
fun.
play. He's just easy to play.
Special, he needs an awesome greatsword.
He'd take it.
Yeah, we would definitely give that to Ugg where he's still around. Or actively coming with us. Sorry, what were you saying a minute ago?
That's what I was going to say.
So Ugg, Ugg will. Do you want him dressed up any special way? Has he got some sort of special tailored suit or something? Okay, well he's.
We're so wealthy; it would be a shame not to.
This is going to be worn once for Ugg probably, and then that's it. He like. While he's waiting for the bride to show up, he's just like constantly tugging at his collar and just shifting his weight from one foot to the other and just looking around, hoping he just looks way out of place. He looks like a half orc in a suit at a wedding.
Maybe
I
a
was thinking
rental would
maybe
be
it's
best for him.
sleeveless. It's sleeveless, so he doesn't have to cram those guns in there.
Less material.
Oh, that's
Maybe it's
such
like
an
a
amazing
tunic, like a
analogy.
tasteful tunic.
We have to use that. Like, they look like a half orc in a suit at a wedding.
Nice.
So yeah, he but then the music starts and Karen comes out and she's I think you had a picture of this, don't you?
Oh boy, howdy did I. I drew it yesterday, mostly.
Really, really good.
Bloop.
Most excellent.
Oh.
Wow. You drew that yesterday?
Well, I've been working on it for a few days, so I finished it up,
That's amazing. Inspiration?
Yeah. Heck yeah. Take it.
Thank you. So Karen has on this flowing gown of orange and golds, and her veil is an illusion, so it glitters off into the ether. She looks so pretty, so happy, and she does not have her eye patch on today because she wants to see all of him.
Oh, that's nice.
Aww. And she doesn't need it anyway.
That's part of her disguise.
And for pirates.
Yep. So,
Wow, that's really cool.
Gully is dressed in darker tones to contrast hers. I think a lot of his stuff certainly looks like new finery that has probably been recently purchased or, hand-stitched with their new royalties, complete with tiny crown, cloak of expensive-looking fur. And he's wearing a pair of very fine-looking, freshly polished boots.
Nice.
Mastercrafted.
Do they have embroidery in them?
Yeah, probably. Matching whatever you did on his arms there.
So, does Gulliver have a best man? Does Karen have a what the heck do they call it?
The maid of honor?
Maid of honor? I was going to say best lady. First lady?
It's Kyla.
that ain't right.
Of course it's
First lady.
Kyla.
Aw.
I don't know who Gulliver's would be. Probably just Yuri if nobody else is around.
Thanks.
Well, anyone else that Gully would know.
Yep.
Who did Gully invite?
A couple of cultists.
No, this is Greg. He's actually really nice.
It would be funny if Alex was there.
Ooh, he's still in jail, but we could spring him for the day if he was buddies, but also as revenge for Karen.
Leave them in a jail cart, just like parked at the
Stocks!
in the stocks.
But we got wheels on it, so it's fine.
Karen's a terrible person.
Oh
Listen,
my gosh.
we've always known this.
Hey, reformed, not perfect.
Yeah, we
There
are
we
all works in progress. Karen has, she only did like one straight up murder this whole campaign. I'm just saying.
So did Kyla.
And Yuri helped.
Yep. My Patsy.
Well, theoretically, it was just a kidnapping, and I didn't have anything to do with what happened.
That's not the murder they're talking about. They're talking about the cultists they murdered in the caravan.
The forest.
Oh.
Stone cold.
Yeah, that did happen. That was their secret, and they'll keep that secret.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that deed. That's not
We
an
have
important
established that evil for evil is good.
They cancel out. It's a double negative.
Yeah.
Perfect.
deed. All right. So yeah, so the ceremony is beautiful. Barham is gently playing some music with the band, and Lightbringer, he has some stuff to say. So, you were brought together by the threads of fate, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. Yes, you shall be together even in the silent memory of life. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of heaven dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but each of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not in each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the oak tree and the cypress grow, but not in each other's shadows. And he nods to each of you. And, did you guys have any vows you wanted to say?
I think Doug should go first.
Okay. That was really good, by the way.
That was amazing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Got me tearing up over here.
Can confirm.
So Gully is very nervous to be in front of a crowd of people. Being a bit of a rapscallion himself, he's usually better, moving between crowds.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, Karen, The only gold I need is seeing your hair every day of my life. I promise to never leave on a whim for a business opportunity, no matter how good. I vow to never lock any part of myself away from you, not that luck would ever stop you. I vow to always fix your eye patch strap and make sure your sandals are as comfortable as they can be, stitched and bound with the love I hold in my heart. I promise to honor you all the days of my life. You are the only thread of fate I want to tie a knot with. And he holds up a playing card. It's the Queen of Hearts.
Oh,
And
he
says,
saved it!
"This is my card. I hope this is yours." And he pulls up the King of Hearts and holds it out to you.
Oh, she takes it. That's so sweet. Karen pulls out a little piece of paper. And she looks at it. Starts to read off. Gully, I wandered around real aimless for a long time. One place to another, not staying too long because there wasn't really anything for me to stay for. The crowds of angry folk running me out of town didn't help, but it did lead me right to you. And you were the first person who didn't leave. You said you want to spend time, watch me do card tricks. And for a little while, I thought it was a trap, but it turns out you weren't in it for a long con. You were in it for the long haul. But then you were gone, and I never thought I'd see you again. But then after so long, there you were, and I want to see your smiling face first thing every morning. Shinier than any coin, spends twice as well. I love you, Gully, and the only thing I ever aimed to steal from you was your heart.
Oh.
Oh.
But she hands the paper to you, and it's blank.
Yes!
Yes. He laughs, but clasps the paper close.
All right. And Lightbringer says, if you would permit an old dragon to give some advice. If you're lucky enough to find someone in this life that you love, grab on and never let go. And don't give that person two options when one of them is wrong. Yeah.
That's advice. That's not Lightbringer advice. Wait a minute.
That's great. That's good advice.
There's a laugh in the crowd, and one thing I forgot to mention was probably that Misty the horse. Misty came. She lives here. She was actually the ring bearer, if you'd allow it.
I would.
And there was probably birds and other wildlife that was scattering the petals that Cobus had picked out. And yeah, Misty looks 100 times better than what she was. She's an old horse, and she'll live out her days at the manor house. And yep, so she brings them to Gulliver, who pulls the pillow with the two rings to hand down to Karen so that she can pick it up. And
Karen slips Misty an apple slice before she walks away.
Yeah. And that was the wedding.
We've done it.
They embrace and thank their guests.
Yay!
Thank you for officiating our fake fantasy wedding.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. That was great. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they everybody goes back into the house for like a huge feast. It's a good time. It's had by all. And there's Karen's favorite foods and other things. Different people bought gifts and stuff that you can open now or later. There were also messages and well wishes from different people that couldn't make it. Opal was one of those, Allie, and she's just a little too old to make that journey.
Understandable.
And
Only old people.
Yeah, that happens. But yeah, she wrote a loving letter to you saying that the money that you used to help her get back on her feet, she used to build a new tavern, and it's called the One-Eyed Halfling. And you and your friends are welcome anytime, and she'd be happy to feed you.
Nice. What is
Dynamite.
There's also a gift from Haynes if you want to open it.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good.
She makes Ugg open it. But she watches.
So yeah, it was wrapped in some colorful paper, and there was a card. Ugg puts the card down. It's got a wax seal on it with the symbol of burdusk on it. And he opens it up, and it's this ornately carved box.
This feels like a trap.
Well,
Gully, is this a trap?
I can't tell if it's magic or not.
Tyler cast detect magic.
Yes!
There's no magic involved.
Dead.
Oh, there's no magic. What good is it?
Throw that in the fireplace.
She opens the box.
Yeah, she opens the box. What is it?
You try to open the box, but it's locked. It looks like, after looking at the box a little bit closer, there's 4 switches on each side of the box, but your hands are a little bit too small to hit them all at the same time.
That's so rude.
Oh my god, but wait.
Okay, so are they like toggle switches, or what kind of switches?
You have to press them all at the same time, basically, to unlock the box. Like,
what a jerk! I love it.
Okay, she casts Mage Hand.
all right, yeah. So with that, 2 hands and like your nose, you can get them all open, and the box is empty, but there is still that card.
I guess she attempts to read it as best she can, which is passable these days.
Yep. All right. So the card is handwritten, and basically it explains what the gift is for, since its use isn't clear. A convenient portable storage case to hold your arcane focus for whenever you're visiting important people. May your wedding day be pleasant and free of magical mishaps. Seneschal Haynes, acting ruler of Burdusk.
Can't put a stamp on it.
Well, that's cool.
Very pretty, Haynes.
Amazing.
Fine, she accepts it. She's gonna it's her garbage bin now for by her desk.
Fanciest garbage can.
She looks a little sour, but she's not gonna let that ruin her night.
Right on. Yeah, so there's a lot of drinking, a lot of eating. Merriment is had by all. After Lightbringer gets a full belly, he decides to go sit over in the comfortable chair and takes a nap. One guy that kind of invited himself, like Gully didn't invite him and you didn't invite him, that Sir Esteval guy. He stands up and he raises a glass. He says he wanted to propose a toast to the Defiant Dawn.
We didn't invite this guy?
No, you didn't. But he's like a hero of the realm. He's like one of the most well-known.
Wedding crasher?
He is a wedding crasher officially. But like Yuri's probably been talking to him.
Oh yeah, Yuri vouches for this guy. He's like,
Nice, good.
Dawn, that's us. Speak,
Sir Esteval. Yeah. He just raises a glass. He says, I'd like to apologize for showing up unannounced, but I just wanted to give my thanks in person to the Defiant Dawn and their efforts. Without them, I might not be around today. And he raises a glass and he says, to the Defiant Dawn.
Here, to the Defiant Dawn.
But you guys have no idea what the heck he's talking about. Like, you have not saved this guy's life.
We're all just kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems. Karen leans over to Kyla and is like, "We didn't save that guy, did we?"
To the defiant dawn.
I think Aster's been winding her way through the crowd, mingling and stuff. I mean, a lot of people never met a genie before, so that's exciting for them.
I'm not sure I have met a genie.
She sidles over to Yuri and is like, "Whoa, what a party!"
Yes, this is the largest party that we've ever had ourselves, I think. There have been quite a few good feasts over the last couple of months.
It's a good one.
Did I tell you about the one we had for Greenest?
No.
It wasn't nearly this nice, but it was still pretty nice.
Oh, okay. I mean, hard to imagine it'd be better than this, but...
Right.
See that guy? That fancy hat over there? That's a pretty good hat.
That is a very fine hat. So what are you going to do now? I mean, you need to grant my wish.
Oh, well...
How's that coming along, by the way?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. That's why I came over. I would like formally to request to travel with you guys, if that's okay, and then I can grant your wishes. We're traveling.
I mean, if that's the best way to go about it, I don't have a problem.
Seems-
I don't speak for everyone, so we'll need, formal acceptance, but you're not cursed, so...
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
So what's it like to be a genie?
Let me tell you, it's really cool. I can do all this kind of magic I couldn't do before. Wonderful.
Have you always been a genie?
No, I think it just kind of happened when I touched the lamp.
Oh, so you haven't always had the lamp either?
No, I found it in the spooky woods, hanging off of a tree. I touched it, now I'm a genie. It's beautiful.
If I'm being honest, it does sound like you're cursed.
No.
Well,
I'm a genie.
You would know more about it than I would.
I've read all the bylaws.
Were they inscribed inside the lantern?
Sheila taps her nose at you with a nod.
Oh, I'm sorry, do I smell?
No. No, you're fine.
Oh. Well, yes, as long as everyone else doesn't have any objections, then nor do I.
Well, that's really good news. And I was hoping, since I've been doing such hard work, wish granting, it's been really tough on me. Could you grant me a wish?
I'm not a genie, so I can't guarantee that anything will happen, but I'll try.
Well, I was just wishing that you might dance with me a little bit.
Oh. Very flustered. I don't really know how to dance.
I mean, I don't either. It can't be that hard. They're all doing it.
You're right. We're great. I'll figure this out.
She high-fives Yuri.
Well, I'll high-five her.
Yeah.
And then I guess they go dance.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's a fun time. That little statement from that guy doesn't quite make sense. You have a good time dancing and talking and having fun, but he comes over to eventually find Yuri and to thank him personally. And it comes out that this guy was a prisoner of the cult. And I think yours was one of the voices that spared Cyanrath, and because of that and that prisoner exchange, that is what allows me to be here today. So again, I just wanted to personally thank you for that.
Yes, you're welcome. You were saying something about a prisoner exchange with Cyanrath.
Yes.
Am I to understand that he's now free?
Yeah. Did you not know?
Not at all. No, this is news to me. He says, peering around suspiciously at all the other guests who might not have told him.
Yeah, nobody's told you, because it wasn't really relevant, important.
I'd say that's kind of important.
They thought you already knew.
I'm so angry at Haynes, this duplicitous piece of human trash.
Tell me, sir, do you happen to know a steward named Haynes?
Yes, he was one who brokered the deal.
I knew it!
we should just say we have reason to believe that he is working with the cult.
Well, I'm very happy that you were able to earn your freedom. And I think as Yuri begins to process this news, it goes from being like, oh no, they gave somebody important back to, oh my god, I get another rematch. Now I get to go hunt him down again for honor and glory, and I have the moral high ground.
Yeah. And but like when you scream out Haynes, everyone else raises their glasses and say, "It's Haynes!"
No!
Aaron dials in on that from across the room and literally flies to be a part of this conversation.
This is a party now.
Okay, but I wonder if Cyanrath is still working with the cult. Out of character.
I didn't even find out, yeah. Oh, Haynes.
Karen is furious.
Yeah, so yes, apparently Haynes brokered a deal. They traded Cyanrath for this gentleman whose name I, out of character, have forgotten.
Yeah, so have I. I think it's Sir Estevel. Sir Estevel, something like that.
Why is he in charge of doing things like that? He's a glorified footman.
Yes, maybe we should reach out to Lady Sileria.
Yeah, he's like Sir Estevel's like, I didn't mean to cause you duress at your wedding. I was merely trying to thank you.
No. This is actually very good news because it confirms some suspicions I've had deep set in my consciousness for quite some time.
You essentially just brought a gift to the wedding without knowing it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He seems unconvinced, but yeah. This guy is like a hero of the realm. So like the trade was probably a decent trade to get back Sir Estevel, and he explains that Lady Sileria is at the. He looks around the room. He leans in close at the Council of Waterdeep. They're meeting about the cult and its activities and trying to plan stuff. And you know that this has been going on for a little while, and that was one of the things that you were going to be going to next, is to kind of touch base with the council and see what's going on. So she's there at the council, So Seneschal Haynes is in charge of Burdusk while she's gone.
Ooh.
He did this potentially in her absence.
Yes.
That's shady.
Oh, yeah.
Karen rubs her little hands together.
The true gift.
She runs off to go tell Gully she gets to maybe kill a guy.
I'm out of retirement, baby.
I know I'm retired, but maybe we could go to Burdusk as the honeymoon.
This says change of plans for honeymoon. Why do you want to go to Burdusk?
Don't worry about it.
You're flying down there.
I'm gonna need to borrow that sword from you.
Thank you. I do have that thing that lets me wield things bigger than me.
Nice.
Okay,
Karen is big bad.
I have a question. Has Karen ever, outright said that Nikolai is her very best friend?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I think she said it more as a goof, but she does really like Nikolai.
Alright, then matching the exact same tone she had said it at whatever time, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe my best friend would do that.
No. Kyla.
At my wedding?
Make me bleed my own blood.
Curse Haynes. With my last breath, I curse Haynes.
So the camera cuts away from the festivities for a little bit, and we're treated to a picture of there's a tree, and there's an open grave. And the grave was open some time ago, and Frulam's corpse is missing. Though birds chirp on the way there, it is noticeably silent as they approach this open hole. An odd energy hangs heavy in the air, and the glade's floor is carpeted in rich purple violets. But the vegetation around the grave is desiccated and crumbles underfoot. The tall old tree, standing as a makeshift headstone, has since withered and died. Its once strong branches now droop as if in defeat.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh no. Thousands of miles away, Yuri's senses tingle. He can feel glory in the future.
Maybe
Yes.
they've renounced their evil doing and want to have a quiet life together. Is somewhere far, far, far away from here.
Maybe. Yuri would accept that. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, out of character, what does the party want? Like, what do the players want?
I had to.
Do you want them to go off and retire and get out of the cult business? Or do you want them...
I had to type something out, so I missed the last description. I'm sorry.
Basically, Frulam's grave is open, and the tree there is dead, and the ground around it is just dead vegetation.
Oh, so like necromancy, you say?
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
So like necromancy. If only we knew an exceptional necromancy.
He's right here. He couldn't have done it.
Well,
That's true.
he
That's
has
probably
talked
pretty
about
well.
how powerful he is in the past. Perhaps he has some kind of long-range animate dead spell. We don't know.
But I'd like to pose that question to the group. This was a villain you guys defeated. You captured him. I thought this might be an interesting plot hook, but it's really up to the players. If you guys want to say, and then he gets Frulam, and they go live happily in the woods together, getting rid of all this cult stuff.
I mean, I'm cool with anything. I do think this is a neat plot hook because it's one of those, well, we as the good guys can show mercy and, be reasonable and logical and turn the other cheek, but that doesn't automatically mean that, the evildoers, quote unquote, are going to just go along with it and be like, yeah, that's cool. I would think that somebody who's truly dedicated to their own ambition and ends would not care about that necessarily, or would, possibly throw it back in our faces at a later time, so...
I mean, it would be a good character growth moment, though, for this guy to be like, man, I gave the cult everything I had. They left me to rot in a jail. They did not care about me. But you know who did? My almost fiance, who was murdered for being in the cult.
Yeah, I could see this going either way. I could see this guy still dedicated to his pledges and his oaths and everything, but I could also see him renouncing it. So I could see this one going either way.
I love Cyan Wrath, so I'm cool with him retiring, but I think it would also be cool to see him at a later date. Maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely support his character development, though, so.
I don't even need to know right now. If you want to chew on it for a while and make a decision at a later time, I'm cool with anything. I think both stories are valid and dramatic and interesting in different ways. But I do like the cinematic cutaway scene as well.
Haha.
It's always classic.
Nice.
The only other thing that I wanted to call attention to at the wedding is, let's see here. A hunched figure remains on the periphery of the festivities, silently watching the merriment. They are seated on the lip of a stone wall with crossed legs. A dark shawl poncho made of hundreds or thousands of feathers in tones of white, dark gray, and black hangs from their shoulders, obscuring the rest of their form. The feathers bounce lightly in the wafting breeze of the afternoon like a soft domino nimbus. And an ebony mask in the visage of an owl peeks from beneath a hood, and luminous orb-like yellow eyes scan passers-by. A long, gnarled staff, the tip of which is bound up in a strip of purple fabric, is splayed across their lap, gripped in claw-like fingers, and a braid of steely gray hair tumbles over one shoulder and down their front.
Spooky.
Pretty cool. Is it evil? It has to die.
Oh, and I just wanted to make this clear if I didn't already. The Hanes thing was a joke. Kyla did not actually say that. I thought it was obvious, but I just wanted to be sure.
You're good.
As Karen wanders through talking to the guests and stuff with Gully, just, doing the rounds, she happens upon this hunched figure and says, "Well, I'm very glad you got my note. Didn't think I didn't know if it would find you."
Things always find their way to the end, if necessary.
Gully, this is my good friend Sova from years back. What a delight, a real party animal, as you can tell.
She will reach a gnarled, old, clawed hand to shake Gully's hand. She says, "Charmed, I'm sure. So I see you managed to tie her down." I'm not going to talk to myself.
Right.
She'll exchange pleasantries with Gully that are very middling in terms of her demeanor.
Right. So are you going to be staying for a little while? Catch up a little bit? We got the room.
I think her eyes flick down to your new leg, and she says, "I may remain for several days to ensure that you're able to get by."
Listen, I'm doing the best I've ever been doing, so you don't need to worry about me, little Karen Bramblefoot.
Yes, I know your goal was always opulence, and so you've reached that much at least.
Well, with such a good crew of adventuring folk, it seems like riches just find you, and then you grab them.
And what will you do with them, I wonder?
Live comfortably is my immediate plan. Maybe run a smear campaign in Burdusk. That's a side thing. I don't know.
So you plan to hoard your wealth like the master you've tethered yourself to?
I mean, of course I'm going to give back to the community as well as I can.
Ugg probably overhears this and says, "Hey, not on the wedding day."
I find it's on these most prideful days when it's important to remind those where they came from, and where some still remain.
I mean, what do you want me to do? So I invited you to a wedding. I thought you'd be happy to see me doing so well, since you encouraged me to do so. But that's fine. If you just want to be a little curmudgeon sitting on your owl bench over here, I do have other guests to greet.
She sniffs a little and looks off to one side and says, "It was kind of you to invite me."
Of course, I missed you. And she
I
slaps
wish you
her
the
knee.
I wish you the best.
I wouldn't mind if you stayed a few extra days so we can catch up.
If you prefer.
I do. You can't deny me a wish on my wedding day. You can ask Aster about that.
Who?
You'll meet her.
Yes, she will continue to sit by herself and not to bother anyone else.
So, one of the stories that Barum tells, he got information from everybody about what happened at the castle and other things. So he starts weaving this grand tale, and but everything's kind of colored in the light of making Karen look good.
Nice, nice.
And like Yuri's like, actually, that's not how it happened. But he's going so fast and like keeping the attention on him that people don't hear his slight objection. And by the end of it, this icicle is about to fall and end Yuri's life, and she leaps, and with her warlock magic, like somehow manages to force the bulk of Yuri out of the way, and but then catches that icicle that was twice as big as her right in the leg, shearing it right off.
She raises her wine glass. It was very brave of me, I know. Gully gives her a long suffering look because she has since told him what happened.
Yes, and Barum says, "To the brave Karen, Credit to her race.
Fury's wedding gift. Another jet to this version of events.
He looks a little sour though.
We'll fix it later, but now this is her day.
We'll fix it in post.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's everything for the wedding, unless anybody else had more wedding business stuff.
No, I think that was it. It's a good party.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, the festivities die down. Some people stay the night, other people move on after the wedding and after the feast. And over the next couple of days, just the extra hangers on that you've had departed. And one night, let's see.
Heck, when you say it like that, it makes me a little worried.
Probably Stark. I picture you're in your bed. You're in a stone dead sleep when the light of your shield kind of brightens up.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and normally, like the Sentinel shield is something that warns of impending danger and things like that. So you're just immediately awake.
Yeah, I'm going to start strapping the plate armor on ASAP.
Yeah, you start strapping that on as quiet as you can, and the light of the shield dies back down. But you swear you heard something outside your door.
I will attempt to quietly open my door and check what's going on.
Yeah, you see like a small light source, like a candle or something very dim, and you see a shadowy figure, but you just have the immediate sense that this person shouldn't be here. The outline, the silhouette, they're wearing a one of the cultist dragon masks that you've become familiar with.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I will attempt to cast light on them.
Okay.
Or at their feet, and then awake! We are under attack! Awake! Sound my alarm.
Kyla
Ready for
will
battle.
jump up from wherever she's at and come out into the hallway.
Yeah, go ahead and drag out your characters into like these separate rooms and stuff.
I'll be here. Oh, that's Kyla.
I'm sorry, no.
You're fine. You're fine either way.
Oh, snap.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, so as soon as you cast light and say you're under attack, you hear a gravelly draconic voice coming from over here. Correct! You are under attack! The Blue Sun has come to end you!
Blue Sun?
Blue
Sun, defiant dawn!
Are you guys familiar with the Blue Sun at all?
No,
We're not.
Well,
Oh.
but I'll go ahead and put him out here. Yeah, he's standing on the table and kind of posing. And I think that's a good spot to call it. We're almost at time here.
God dang it.
On my wedding day?
my wedding week.
No, this is a couple of days after everybody's already left, so Lightbringer's not here. He's 100% safe.
I wanted to see him in action, but whatever.
Maybe one.
He would eviscerate these guys.
So will we, to be fair.
He would literally just go like, and they would die.
I just imagine he just picks up his cane and with like a 30 in strength, just smack somebody so hard.
It's got an excellent backswing. Good form.
Yes.
And, oh god. Who's the blue sun?
He's this half dragon gladiator looking guy.
Oh, it's a half dragon?
A gladiator, you say?
I do.
Would Yuri have any knowledge of him?
Perhaps. Yeah, let's say yes.
I can make a roll for it if you want. Otherwise,
I think it's a bit cooler if you do know who this guy is. So he was a let's see. I think he was probably a human gladiator once upon a time. But you can tell now he's no longer human.
Well,
he is a blue half dragon. You can see because of the edge of Taisho's light spell, his outline comes into view. And
That's cool. Half dragon.
He was a lot of times when you were fighting in the gladiator pits, it was kind of up to somebody else whether or not they would kill somebody, and he would never wait for the thumbs up, thumbs down. He'd just end the person.
oh no.
The worst.
So dishonorable.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's time for you to share this information right now, but you will
That's okay.
recognize the name or the title, if nothing else.
Yep.
Prepare for glorious combat!
Yes. And he knows about Yuri, too, so it will be glorious. So, that was the session, everyone. Definitely thanks to Jackie for hanging out. She was making cool comments through the whole thing. Thanks to Stark for the Prime subscription.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow.
At the end of session, Stark, I like to do a little post-mortem about things we like, things we didn't like, things we like to see a little more of, a little less of. So, does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about over the session?
I just had a blast, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I can tell you some things that I liked was, man, what a rich environment you've kind of created here. And while I don't know all of the backstory or even most of the backstory, I'm starting to piece it all together. And that's very helpful. But no, this feels really, really rich and alive in my mind. So really, really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, well, the high points are Karen hates Haynes.
Gathered. Yep.
She, I'll tell you the quick story. She cast Charm Person on a guard and then tried to lie to Haynes when he said, "You need to behave yourself." It's like, well, my magic just went off. And he's like, well, if you can't control your magic, then you can wait out here. And Karen didn't
He was with the party when that happened?
No, she tried to cast Charm Person on the guards, and then it failed, and the guards told him about it.
Oh, okay.
We were just entering a city, and the guards were questioning us. And, when we were sort of in the process of being like, hey, we got to go talk to Lady Sileria, who's the head of the city. Karen's like, we don't have time for this, and cast Charm Person on them.
If I recall. No, we're not taking you to our queen, you idiots. You can stay here. We don't want to let you in because you look shady.
Well, to be fair, one of us did say something that sounded like a cult threat.
And it was me.
It's like, hey, she said something like, listen, you need to take us there or the cult are like, do you guys want to get stabbed by cult members? Is that what you want? And so he thought, like, these guys are cult members. They're challenging us. Like, whoa, what the heck? So
it was just a snowball of fun stuff.
Yeah, and because of that, Karen somehow put it in her mind that it's Haynes' fault for this whole situation.
No, he was just extremely rude, and she didn't appreciate it. And his smug little hot face, she doesn't care for it.
And Gully's in the background like, hot face.
All right, baby, I love you.
Oh boy.
Cool. Yeah, this was the first wedding I've ever heard about DMing, so I hope I did it justice. I think it was fun.
Really good.
Yeah, I think I really like sessions where we cover like side stuff and a lot of smaller things rather than, gauntlet run of another major event, which is also really fun. It's just nice to mix them up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I thought that was cool payoff for NPCs we've met along the way and having a good excuse to bring them all into one place and see how some of them
love
interact.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's always cool.
I want to say that I love Astra's accent. It's amazing. Jackie's on the same page with me on this. She mentioned like no less than 5 times. I love this character.
I was really excited to get to play this week. I feel like I got a pretty firm grasp on her already.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really digging Astra as a character concept. That's really cool.
She's definitely a genie.
Definitely thinks she's a genie.
So yeah, there's what do you call it? There's for the combat next time. We have a ton of NPCs. I'm not bringing any of those in. They'll be dealing with their own cultists, and if you guys succeed, then they'll succeed. If you fail, they'll fail. So that's what's going to go on there. I thought ending on a cliffhanger would be kind of fun.
Us fail? Well, all we need to worry about is not standing in this hallway.
Yeah, that's a bad hallway for a blue half dragon.
I don't know what you mean, so I'm going to charge out immediately.
Yuri, no!
You're just like, I know that name!
Well, I'm excited for the next session then for sure.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you to come and join us here, Stark. This was probably like a strange episode for you to join us on because it is still one of those like in the middle of things happening with a lot of events that you don't have quite the same level of context for.
I really like Taisho.
So I'm excited to get to a point where all the new information we're getting is stuff that we don't know any more about than you do, kind of. So you'll be back on the same level as the rest of us. But I think you did a great job in picking everything up and putting those pieces together.
I love tying our backgrounds together with Lightbringer. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that type of stuff is always neat, especially when it comes together in the moment.
And now I'm convinced he's going to die before I get this.
Definitely. Absolutely. No question. I think Lightbringer was one of my first dragon NPCs I ever made.
Yep.
I guess the upside to if he perishes is we could get the Staff of Fire back.
If Lightbringer perishes, I bet it will be to like heroically save us in a moment of dire need. Like that'll be our moment of greatest failure in the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Quit reading my notes, Doug.
It'll be when Goldbringer shows up with his Yoda lightsaber to fight Count Dooku as we're being crushed to death by other stuff.
My favorite off-brand dragon,
Goldbringer.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, Taisho's really, really cool.
I think he's going to be a lot of fun.
Sorry, he didn't want to use any evil artifacts. I'll try to put some good artifacts in there.
Hard for the
soon.
player, perfect for the character.
I am very excited to learn that he's also 8 intelligence. So
yeah,
I'm ready for this.
I don't know how you guys are playing characters with 8 intelligence because playing characters with high intelligence and high charisma is like that's the equivalent as if I were Allie and I were playing a warlock. That's the only thing I do.
See, it's easy to play an 8 intelligence character when that's your baseline in real life.
That's not true.
Bring that energy to the bring that to
I
the
can't.
table.
Stop that.
I can't be friends with those people. I mean, I'm a good guy. I'll be nice to them, but I wouldn't be hanging out with a bunch of 8 intelligence people.
Yeah, it's not.
Astra's a really nice person, Ek. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be friends with
8
Astra.
intelligence people, there would be no other firemen. So it's important you have.
Ooh, burn.
No, I'm like I would be nice to Astra. I would hang out a little bit with Astra, but I wouldn't go like play some board games with Astra. I wouldn't invite her over to my house to like have a meaningful conversation with her. That's all.
You know, maybe she's really wise, though.
She could be. But she thinks she's a genie.
Prove I'm not a genie.
Prove
You
it.
can't. You can't do it.
That's because I am a genie.
I forgot to take a long rest, so this entire time I've just been out of spell slots.
Oh no.
Kyle's just bleary-eyed,
Bleh.
dark bags rings under there.
Yeah, go ahead and definitely take a long rest. Yuri and everybody else figure out what your armor class is without your armor, because I'm pretty sure you're not sleeping in it.
Probably.
I have a mage armor, so
Yep.
I'm
so you're
an
fine.
unarmored fighter.
There you go. So
Mine would be. Oh, jeez. Let's see here.
Was I able to get mine on in time?
yeah, it's gonna give you a first crack at it since you had the Sentinel shield.
Mine's gonna be 13. Luckily, I have 10 decks, so I don't get a penalty.
I'm really liking the look of hold person. Remember that spell?
I do. You cast that on the guy that I drop kicked into the wall. It's great. You made it an auto crit. It was perfect.
Jackie says, "I live in a lamp and I cast spells. How am I not a genie?" Astro,
That's
probably.
Yes.
Riddle me that.
No, you can't. That's because you're not.
How's the Blue Sun's wisdom save?
You don't know.
I bet it's super high. They seem really on it, you know?
Very wise to attack us at our home base.
While you're sleeping.
Well,
Karen takes Gully's head in her hands, just squishing his cheeks. We're living in the castle now. He's like, all right.
All right. Well,
As long as
cargo
you
ship.
set
We have
anything
a
on
cargo
fire,
Yeah, we
it'll be
do.
That's true. We could literally forget about the cargo ship for trading and just use the castle to fly around the world, transport bulk goods.
It's a little slower, but
Our clients would literally be nations and kingdoms.
dang, you right. Man, that's what Karen's gonna be doing. She's gonna take Misty too. Misty's like, oh, I love the sky.
She's in retirement.
Yeah.
Okay.
She gets to clip clop around the courtyard.
Right, as long as she's not doing work.
No, she's just living her best life in
She's
the
paying
clouds.
her dues. Yeah, exactly.
With that one kobold we kept.
What's this?
We saved one kobold at the beginning of the session.
yeah, I guess Reginald.
Yes!
He's the steward of the castle.
Reginald is the
That's right,
name
right.
of my rat familiar in the Bullywugs game we played last night.
If
Nice.
we ever get a pet dog, it's very important that we name it Crackers, because there is a dog with two heads in one of my games. Their names are S'more and Marshmallow, each of their heads. There's another one in somebody else's game named Chocolate. So now we just need Crackers, and the S'more will be complete.
What about Bartholomew?
Dang, that's good though.
And then there's a hellhound named Bacon.
Wait. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. We might still be chatting a little bit, but thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And check out the Doug and Allie's podcast, RPG for You and Me. Have a good one, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.